Okay, I'm back.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. I'm just about to turn my telly down so it's not so...
I'm just going to run for a quick wee myself then.
Right you are.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool.
You up, baby? It's alright, baby, take your time. Right, okay, we're going to go live in 5, 4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Simplay Motorsport. We are here for the Pro Series this evening. Should be an absolutely fantastic night of action here at Alton Park. The end of the week, the first week of Season 9, Season 17 in total, if you count back to the Project Cars 2 days. It's been a fantastic season, or fantastic seasons, should I say, as we've gone through some amazing tracks, amazing cars and amazing races. But we're back. It's Pro, the start of Season 9 at Alton Park. Sweet and sticky back in your box, which means one thing and one thing only. Good evening, Kelly Davis.
Good evening, Matt, and it's great to be back. Almost feels like we haven't left, have we? It's been a really short off season, which is good. We like short off seasons because we get back to some action. And what a grid we've got tonight, yeah. Matt. It is ram-packed here at Alton Park, isn't it?
Absolutely is. It looks a stacked grid. 36 pro drivers take to the grid tonight. One driver missing. He's not able to attend tonight. And we've got even more drivers that are signed up for next week. So we could even have possibly 40 cars on the pro grid. This is what we are looking at forward to this season. It's going to be an absolutely stacked year, or back end of the year. 10 weeks this season, which is all that we have on the calendar due to the Christmas and New Year period. The calendar is now up on screen for you all to see. Alton Park, Nürburgring, Misano for the first night race, Imola's evening race, then Silverstone, Bathurst for an early morning, Spa's the second night race, Kyalami, Kota, and then we end at Simplay's home of Donington Park. And what a season this looks like it's going to be. I think it's anybody's game this year. We're going to talk more in qualifying 1 due to the fact we get 2 qualifyings. We're going to mention some of the cars, the teams, the drivers as we go through Q1. But Kelly, a stacked grid of what looks to be an absolute fantastic lineup of drivers out there.
Yeah, and as you say, it's a reset. So this is the exciting part of every season, I think, because the reset is so good. Change of people changing cars, people changing teams, partnerships, so on and so forth. There's some really strong partnerships for this pro season. And you say it's anybody's game. I mean, you know, literally there is probably 10 drivers who could be contenders for this championship, and some new ones who are already proving to be very quick in earlier this week. So it's really exciting times. Beginning of the season is just always just so good.
So let's start things off with our defending Constructors' Champions, and we'll start things off with the number one driver at Audio Sport, Ben Ruck, in what is potentially Pro Livery Contender of the season right out the gates. He's back, staying in the Lamborghini with Team Audio Sport, and the driver number 2, who he's following now with his beautiful Swiss flag on the front of his car, is that of Dan Davis. Same driver lineup, Kelly, different car for Dan now.
Yeah, different car for Dan. Dan has had a lot of luck in this Lexus in the past, and thinks he can drive it like no one else. So we'll see. These two, Ben is really hungry for this championship. Came so close in season 8. He really wants this really bad. He's the young gun, the young contender. But don't rule Dan out. Dan is a creature of obsession and competitiveness. He wants another title. He's still hungry. They're going to be a very strong pairing. And of course, we would like to be double constructors, wouldn't we?
Of course you would. McGowan makes his return back on the pro grid for the Casuals, as they're now known. He's teamed with Skunky in this one. McGowan in the McLaren. And then we've got Skunky, who is not done a lap time. He's out on track at the moment, actually. There we go. In the dark green and white McLaren. Skunky in the Ferrari. So great to see them two pairing back up together on the grid.
They're strong as well. A strong pairing. McGowan and Skunky have both shown real turns of speed in previous seasons. They've been here at Simplay for quite some time now. I wouldn't rule them out from race wins or even contenders.
Yep. Michael Harris makes a return, but in the BMW M4, sticking with Utopia Motorsport. He'll be paired with his partner in crime from last season as well, that of Rob Smith, who comes out of the Ford Mustang and back into the BMW M4. So interesting to see that driver lineup. That could be another one to keep your eyes on this season. We go in with Mezzin, sorry. I think that's how he's told me to pronounce it. He has told me he'll correct us if we are wrong tonight. But no Mezzin, at the moment, Ford Mustang driver. We saw him in Who Darren Cup, independent only driver in the Ford Mustang. Dominant Who Darren Cup for Mezzin there. So that's going to be one to keep our eyes on as well. Yeah,
this is the wild card. I think he's shown his hand a little bit in the Who Darren Cup and won every race night one. Watch out for this guy. I think he's a wild card.
Yeah, I don't think he's shown his hand yet. Completely different car. I don't think we've seen what he could do just yet. We've got Hibbs returning once again, staying in the Greasy Bandits car, but he's in the Honda NSX and he's being partnered by De Bont this season. No John Gooday with Hibbs this season. De Bont will be his teammate, also running in the Honda NSX. De Bont, we saw what he was capable of in that Ferrari, and we saw what Hibbs could do in the gold category as well. It's an interesting driver lineup. I think it's a good driver lineup. Interested to see what they can do in the Honda, though.
Hibbs is a great solid driver, ex-Pro-Am champion. His first season in Pro was last season, so he knows his way round now. I'm expecting he's a good solid driver. I'm expecting him to start moving up the order. And as for De Bont, he's been right up there at the sharp end. So again, a team that's a very decent team, one to look out for.
We've got Team GBR of Stardog in his Ferrari, partnered with the Pro-Am runner-up of last season, making his debut in Pro, Vitas. Very quick driver in Pro-Am. Can he find his feet? Stardog back in the Ferrari and Vitas staying in his McLaren. That's an interesting pair in the gold category especially.
Absolutely, and in early practice, Vitas looking like he belongs in Pro, doing some great lap times. Stardog's still in there and, still proving that he is Pro material, but probably hoping for a couple of better results this season.
We've got De Court then, independent entry in his Ferrari 296, the orange and black Ferrari there. New driver, interested to see what he can do. Mike Matthews returns once again, been here since day number 1 and he stays with the Simplay Racing team. This time though, being partnered with the AS Racing driver from last season of Patrick Leger. Leger sticking in the Lamborghini. I think that's a good car choice. Mike stay in McLaren, Leger stay in Lamborghini. Good pairing, good car choices for them to both stick in what they're in.
Absolutely, and I'm all for sticking with cars if you're comfortable with it. Ligier on loan from Team Audio Sport, all in the same stable. And Mike Matthews, as you said, been around since day 1. He wrote the big book of excuses, just in case you didn't know.
Sorry, Kelly, going to have to cut you off there. There is a traffic jam at the final corner. Langley was waiting for the cars to go to create some... Leger was waiting for the cars to create some space, and Vitas has just ploughed into the back of him while Leger was stationary. So already dramas in qualifying.
Yes, it's all looking a bit Formula One at the end of the lap, doesn't it? To try and get a clear lap. This is a problem. It's a very tight track, Alton Park, and a lot of cars. But we'll get into that later on.
Indeed, we will. Diaz running in the Aston Martin independent entry. Interested to see what he can do. We've then got Jamal Clouden returning back for Cloud9 Racing in his beloved McLaren 720. S Evo then, and he's being partnered by one of the up and comers as well, really. Thomas Cordno partners him. Really good back end of the season, especially last season in gold. Interested to see what he can do this season.
Clouden, as we know, is always in the thick of it, and we know he's got a turn of pace, and hoping for some better results. Tom Cardano, or Cobb as we know him from early Project Cars games, he's been around Simplay on and off for quite a long time. But do you know what? I partnered with him at the last the endurance race that we did on Saturday. Really nice guy. A quiet way about him, and doesn't get very rattled, very patient. Right, things come his way, he could do good things.
Could indeed. We've then got a few lap times coming in. We've got Rosowski for Momentum Motorsport, the other, for me, contender for livery of the season here in the Pro. Rosowski from Momentum Motorsport staying in the M4 and being partnered by another gold driver that I think could be quality to watch this season. That is Keynes in the other Momentum Motorsport BMW. They look a good partnership. They look strong at the endurance event in the M4 at the weekend. That could be a partnership to keep your eye on this season.
Yeah, they were running really well. They didn't win it, did they?
No.
Second place, were they?
Second place.
Rosowski was in. So again, and Rosowski knows his way around that Beamer. So could be another great team. Yeah, lots of them tonight this season.
Eresh for Switzer Motorsport. I believe it's his teammate Schmidt that is the one that is missing tonight's race in the Ford Mustang. Very quick driver, possibly the quickest pad driver we've got now at Simplay Motorsport, with Hoopert as well and Overtaker. Carlos returns back to Simplay after last season. He's now in the M4, dropped the Ferrari. He's an independent driver as well. Class makes a return as an independent in the McLaren. We've then got Kieran O'Reilly, defending champion, running number one, staying with the Honda and teaming up with the returning Sylph in the BMW M4. Sylph in the M4 excites me, and that is a partnership that will trouble Audio Sport this season. That's the one, Matt, that I'm from when I've got my Audio Sport hat on. That's the one that really worries me. The reigning champion and the season before's champion. What a really strong pairing that is. Yeah, indeed it is. We've then got that of Overtaker back in as an independent this season. He's still running the Ford Mustang. We've got Comar for Racing Soft in his McLaren. Matt Wright returns in the Ferrari after one season in the McLaren. Back at Quantum Motorsport, he's being partnered with the current Pro-Am champion of Glenn Langley, Gary Langley himself. Making the step up to Pro, see what he can do. Not looking comfortable around here. He's been struggling in testing, but Alton Park is a tricky track. It is a tricky track. You either gel with this one or you don't. I'm not gonna start rating his season on this early and around this track. But I'm expecting good things from Langley. Again, another level-headed kind of guy. Doesn't get too hot-headed. Goes about his business. Quick guy, quick guy. Sorry, it isn't Schmidt that is the Schwitzer Motorsport second car. It is that of Lojek, who is the other Schwitzer Motorsport car. We've then got Butcher for Blaze Motorsport. He's in new driver again with Castro, Ford Mustang and McLaren for them, so we'll see how they get on. We've then got Bolton making his return. He's come up from Pro-Am to Pro as well. He's in the McLaren, so we'll see what he can do. We've then got DS, who we mentioned in the Aston Martin. Jacob is in the 32, the number 12 Ferrari, looking nice there as an independent entry for Racing Soft. We've then got Brandon Williams back in the Ford Mustang as a solo entry. Did that great start to the season, the Mercedes, dropped off at the end. He's a good driver, really good driver. And who else have we missed at the moment? We've also then missed that of Robert Ramsell, independent driver for this season, running in the 2Cs Mercedes-Benz. And we've got Hoopert back as well, running in the Lamborghini. And you like Hubert. You're a big Hubert fan.
Mackie Racer, I am a big Hubert fan. Yeah, I was. I used to love watching him drive in the BMW. He was always dancing around the back end of that car around all the tracks, and I think he seems to drive everything like he stole it. And I believe he is reasonably young. I haven't had the opportunity to chat to him, but he was a terrible culprit for doing donuts in the pit lane. He's my McDonald's entry. We like Hooper. We're glad to see him back. Hopefully he'll do some. He's been at the sharp end quite a lot, so hopefully he'll be able to do some good in that Lamborghini.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. We're well into qualifying here. We've only got 2 minutes left at the moment. Just watching some of the guys come across the line. We'll go to number 16 now, because Dan Davis, Audio Sport 1-2 at the minute. He's flashing his lights. He goes and does a 32.4, 32.1. He's done in practice. One thinks that he said in the stream last night in the chat, there will be a 31 in pro qualifying. I am going to argue and say I don't think we will, because of how tight and narrow this circuit is, and traffic is going to play a big part. You look at that track map, there aren't a lot of gaps to get a 31 out there.
No, you're quite right. But no, it's Hooper. Look there, true to form, bangs in the fastest with a 32.3. I don't know, a 31 might be possible. We're only just over a third of a second away from it. But it's going to be a problem round here because of all the traffic. But I was about to say, are we setting a precedent for the rest of the season? Team Audio Sport, MSA. I think they are the four strongest contenders for this championship.
I think I'm going to say this now, and I didn't say this last night, but I don't think we can take a lot away from this track. Not only because it's week number 1, but given the nature of this circuit, I don't think there's a lot we can take away from this week's racing.
No, because whoever's on pole is going to have a huge advantage. This track is so incredibly thin and tight. No real straights, not any great overtaking opportunities, and extremely narrow. It's like threading the eye of a needle without 34 other cars around you. So whoever's on pole is going to do extremely well. And that pole depends on if you get a clean lap in the first place.
And let's not forget as well, if you are new to watching, there is points for pole position in gold now as well. Gold is its own championship. We'll have overall tables, but platinum and gold are their own championships. We've got what is, and this is brilliant, we've got 23 platinum drivers out there tonight. Sorry, no, we've got 22 out there tonight, 23 in total. We've got 14 gold drivers, all of which are out there tonight. Just double checking. Yes, they are. So we've got a real stacked platinum grid here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to just keep people up to speed on what's changed. Even I'm not sure of everything that's changed since season 8. So, but that's one that Matt has touched on. So the gold class drivers are now a gold class win. Classed as a gold class win, although the points tables will stay the same up and down the grid. There's some other changes as well, race length and so on and so forth. Tyres we haven't talked about. So much to do. So stay with us. We will get through it as we get to it.
So if you're wondering as well what the points mean, the points are scored overall, but there is arguably 3 championship tables. There is the overall table. There is then the platinum table and the gold table. You will get a platinum and a gold champion this year. Unlike last season where we just had the categories, this year we'll be fully down to championship standings in them categories to be crowned as champion. We've also then still got the teams table as always, and this is what I'm looking forward to this year, because it's going to bring a different element. We saw it last night where bronze drivers wasn't encouraged to let silver drivers go because they know it. Overall points will will play a big factor in your championship. As Dan comes across the line now, doesn't go provisional pole, he stays down in second place. Hoopert's about to finish a lap though.
Yeah, Ben's bailed. He's gone back to the pits. Hoopert's just coming around the last corner, and somebody spun in the pit lane. I don't know who that is. It's going to take a minute or two for us to get used to the liveries and who's again. And Hoopert does look at that, Matt. Oh, you're right, but only just right.
Yeah, see, only just right. As here comes Mike Matthews to cross the line. Mike goes into P8, so a good qualifying session.
That's a good, strong one. Yeah.
From there, we'll get into a bit more about the format of the races as we go through. But a good evening to Chris, Audio Sport, Dr. Dabbing Lamas, Rob Smith, Sebastian in the chat, as well as Peaceful Stepdad, Gary Clarbel, Fury's Grandad, Tech Leader, and Sam Williams as well. So a great evening to you all in the chat. Keep your comments coming in. We'll get through as many as we can throughout the races. But what a start to qualifying. Hooper takes pole, but so does Harris. He crucially gets a point for that gold pole position. So that's 1 point to him already in this category.
Absolutely, and as Matt said, keep your comments coming. We'd love to hear your chat and your feedback. We're probably going to have lots and lots to. Well, we have got lots to talk about tonight, but throughout the season, please stick with us and please keep your comments coming in. We love to hear from you, and we can react on. Look at that grid; that is just
beautiful,
crazy,
absolutely
crazy. What other racing series do you know with that many cars other than an endurance race? Really, it's mad. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be absolute chaos this evening. Do you think, Matt, that everyone's going to go a little bit steady because they think it's going to be chaos tonight?
I think so. I think the nature of this circuit requires a steady hand, doesn't it? Let's be honest. It requires you to really be patient around here. You cannot go all guns blazing and look to dive bomb people around here because it will bite you in the bum a bit more than it would the other driver. So I think we're going to see some interesting fights. We saw it over the last 2 nights, even in the BMW M2s, the small little M2. It will reward patient driving, I think, tonight.
I mean, I was lucky enough to go to Alton Park this year for the British Touring Cars, and it doesn't look. I mean, it's a stunning track to watch, especially down this what you would call the start-finish straight, as it were, because it's far from straight. But the undulations, the bumps, the ups and downs are really quite deceiving on here when you see it for real. And I mean, it looks so much bigger than it actually is. In real life, you go to Donington Park, it's massive, and this still looks like a big piece of tarmac, but it really isn't. So it's going to be interesting. There's not a lot of runoff area. If you get on the grass, you're usually on your way to an accident. So these guys have got to, as I said, thread the eye of a needle with all the other guys threading the same needle at the same time. So as I said, don't go anywhere. I think it's going to be an absolute classic tonight. I'll probably be wrong and it'll be a complete procession now.
Have you noticed something, by the way? I've just put in input in the stats for qualifying. Look where Overtaker's qualified. That is how much this grid has improved.
Absolutely. Overtaker, a champion. I'd like to say multiple champion. Has he done it twice?
No, he's only done it once.
Only done it once, but he's always been there and thereabouts. Again, as Matt said, he's one of the pad users, one of the few pad users, although there's another one right at the top. So we can't say that a pad is a disadvantage, although I wouldn't want to do it. But it's got to be hard enough around here with the steering wheel. Well, it is hard enough with the steering wheel. It's got to be ultra hard with a pad, is it not?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. It looks a difficult, tricky circuit to get right. Right, the race format, as Kelly mentioned earlier on, it is still the 15-minute sprint, but there is no pit window anymore. It is straight 25 seconds mandatory in the pit lane. No pit window, so drivers can pit at any given time. We'll then go into the qualifying 2, which will be qualifying 2 every week. So obviously the reverse grids will come in from championship order in category next week. Which means that race 2 is now back to 60 minutes with that 25-second pit stop. Again, no pit window for drivers in that one. Pit strategies could be key around here because of how tight and narrow it is. It could be worth getting in out the traffic early doors. Let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see how many do that.
It means this season you'll only lose the 5 seconds for changing your tyres. Good evening to Monkey Boy, Berserker, Jimenez in the chat, Gareth Anderson, as well as Tips in there as well, and Benedict Varga, double race winner last night. This is going to be an interesting
Monkey Boy, you're
one.
in trouble apparently. You're in trouble with the team manager already for your escapades last night. The track has just clicked over to Optimum, I believe, and the tyre wall has already been knocked over at Knickerbrook.
Best corner name in World Motorsport.
Absolutely, of course.
Langley never asked me why last night, so if anybody in the chat asks why, we'll try and mention it a little later on.
We're not going to do it as a just as course. You tell us if you want to know, because we're about to go green in a minute.
We are, for race 1 of season 9 here on ACC. It's Simplay Motorsport Pro Series to end the week at Alton Port. We head to the Nürburgring next week. It is Hoopert from Dan Davis. What's going to happen as we go green? And we're about to here. It's green and go. Drive through for Kieran O'Reilly. So his title defence does not get off to the best start. And he's already got himself ahead of Ben Ruck. Rosowski and Ben Ruck make a bit of contact in the background there. That's Rosowski off at turn 1. Everybody else looks like they're getting through nice and clean. Rosowski coming back to the circuit. Cannot rejoin yet though. Manages to now. There's a spinner in the background. One of the orange McLarens catches an Aston. They've been spun around at Cascades. But Hoopert out front did everything he needed to do at the start of this race. Ruck coming under pressure now from that of Silf as they come through the little left-hand kilt. King, that's going to be Silf on the inside for the Shell Oils hairpin, and this could also allow that of the Ford Mustang of Mezin to come through as well, but he cannot capitalise. But Hoopert got the jump on Dan early doors.
Yeah, absolutely, and a little bit of rubbing with Ben Ruck and Silf. They touched a couple of times down that straight, but no harm done. They managed to all keep it together. Ben now looking, diving one side to the other as Silf did get in front of him. So Ben losing a place there, but O'Reilly with that drive-through penalty is that's a real blow straight away, isn't it? He can say goodbye to this race.
He can say goodbye to this race as Rob Smith lets Rob Ramsell go. Well, I've just noticed there was a yellow flag down at the chicane, but it is Hoopert from Dan from O'Reilly, but we're expecting him into the pits as soon as possible. Then it's Silf, Ben Ruck, Mezin from Mike Matthews with Skunky, Komar, Lojek, Harris, Eresh, Clouden down to 13th with Williams, Carlos, Vitas, overtakers up to 17th place. From then McGowan with Cordno, Matt Wright, Jacob then in 21st with De Bont, Rosowski, Castro, Class, Cairns, Hibbs, Bolton, Ledger, who's going side by side. We've got several drivers making early pit stops here to end the first lap.
Pits. Absolutely. I wondered if O'Reilly would do a few laps before he had to do his drive-through, being that there might be incidents and field spread, but he went straight away, and as you say, a few people have jumped in straight away. Mezin is one of them. He's gone straight in and pulled the trigger straight away. So the top 4 now, Mike Matthews just trying to stay in touch. He's moved up to platinum now as a platinum driver. Yes.
Yep. Him, Matt Wright, and Skunky and Leger all moved up to platinum.
Absolutely. So Mike Matthews is now a platinum driver, just trying to hang on to the back of these top 4. The top 4 in very close comfort. As Silf has a moment in the chicane just before Knickerbrook. Ben looks down the inside. You're not going to get it done there, Ben, and then has to correct a slide as he gets in a little bit hot to the inside. So this is the problem with this track. When you make a mistake, you can't just gather it all up, and you need a real proper mistake for the person behind you to get in front of you. It's just not easy round here.
No, it's not easy at all. Dan Davis not looking that close to the back of Hoopert at the moment. We've got Harris, who's your current gold leader as well. We will try and get gold and platinum interviews in. We're going to keep them shorter and sweeter in the interviews this season, but we're going to try and at least get the race winners of gold and platinum to do a quick interview, at least the winners. So we'll see what happens in that one. Close fight here. No, it's not, because McGowan straight into the pit lane. So who pitted at the end of lap number 1? That was Mezin, Lojek, Overtaker, Skunky, De Bont, Leger, Langley, Cairns and Ramsell all pitted. We've then got another 6 or 7, even if not 8 cars into the pits for their round of stops. Closest fight on circuit at the moment is that between Cordno and that of Matt Wright.
Oh, Ben's going in the wall. He's going in the wall. He's managed to lose it on the.
I think he bounced off the inside part of the wall, Kelly, because he's then just span around like a mad. He span around like mad there. So Ben. Oh, that's nearly an unsafe rejoin on Cordno as well there from Ben Ruck. But Ben Ruck, so the bonus with the drive-through, by the way, for O'Reilly, he only loses 14 seconds because it's a very short pit lane here. So he's not out of this. He'll be in clear air and will also have the pace to get onto the back of these drivers. But for Ben, if that car's badly damaged after hitting the wall, that could be a huge disaster for his first race.
And he had to get out of the brakes there because he was about to plough into the back of Matt Wright, who is fighting with Cardino or somebody. But that mistake of Ben Ruck's was such an easy one to make, Matt, isn't it? As soon as you get up on that grass along that back straight, you get on there, you're just moving to the scene of the accident, which happens to be a Dirty Gate big wall.
Now, if you didn't join us last night, Johnson got hit off at that chicane. Ben's just ended up cutting there, as he was spinning on the grass at that chicane, rejoined. The game had given him a drive-through for cutting that chicane in the most harshest way possible, because he was hit there from behind. So Ben Ruck would have had to have slowed that down no end to get that one stopped and brought in. Mezin is your current net pit leader, if you will.
That's the one to look out for.
It is.
You talk about, is he in clean air?
He is in clean air. The next car is at the final corner now. That is McGowan. O'Reilly, by the way, he's done his pit stop and has come out ahead of Castro, Ramsel and Klass, and he's on the back of Cairns already. So it's damage limitations for O'Reilly, but with drivers now pitting,
it's going to be points now.
Yeah, points is going to be what is going to help him in this race. Ben Ruxel on the back of Cardno is, I believe, our closest fight on circuit. No, tell a lie. It's de Bont on the rear of Skunky with Leger close to him. In fact, there's a good train here just behind Jacob, all fighting for this position. You can see them queuing up all the way back down to O'Reilly. So O'Reilly staring at the back of a few places here already, and a fight as they come out the pit lane between that of Rozalski. I'm not quite sure who the Ford Mustang is just up the road from him. It's one of the MSA teamed Ford Mustangs. So we'll wait for the timing tower to update there. I believe it's possibly Williams, because Overtaker is just ahead. Yeah, it is Williams. So Rozalski nearly got that one done on Williams there. Mezin still your net pit leader though at the moment.
Monkey Boy in the chat saying it's nothing to do with me. Well, that's not what I've been told. You have 1 week back at Team Audio Sport. You went on and on and on about getting back in this team. You're 1 week back and you're already standing in the corner with your hands on your head, in the doghouse straight away. If you wonder what I'm talking about, go back and watch last night's Pro-Am race. Not now, of course. Do it when some other time, as the hundreds of other brilliant races that are on the Simplay channel. Back to the race. Dave Silth looking a little bit scruffy at the moment. Matt, just got to get those wheels up on the grass every time, just at the bottom of Cascades, I want to say.
Well, I'm currently down in 26th place, watching Jacob and Skunky with de Bont, Leger, Langley and O'Reilly all coming through. A little train developing here, and Monkey, I never said a word to Kelly, Dan told him. So before you go pointing the finger,
couldn't wait to tell me.
Just want to clear the blame game on me there. Rob Smith, is it top 30 score points? No, it's all the way down to 40th place score points now this season. So top 40 score points. So every driver will bag themselves a point. Stardogs into the pits as these drivers all fly through. O'Reilly now back up into 29th now that Stardogs in the pits. So it's not looking too bad at the moment. Ben's still stuck behind Cardno, but the problem is, Kelly, so hard to overtake around here. It doesn't matter how close Ben gets to him, because it is very, very difficult.
Extremely difficult. We can't keep emphasising enough as Silth pulls the trigger and goes into the pits. We can't emphasise how incredibly difficult it is to pass here. It's absolutely madness. And so track position is everything, and that's why I say that O'Reilly's race is ruined, because he's only going to get up so far behind. Same with Ben. Track position is everything. Mike Matthews still running in a high position in fourth. Not that he's not capable of that, but he is also in the right place at the right time. Yeah,
and this is the bonus for Mike, 'cause he's obviously now in third because Silf has pitted. It'll be interesting to see where Silf rejoins in terms of this massive train that we're watching at the moment, down behind Jacob, car number 12. With Skunky right behind him. This is for 24th place on circuit at the moment.
You got to go late now, haven't you, Matt? Would you go late now? 6 minutes to go.
Yeah,
you go late. Let's say you're Mike Matthews, for example, and you've got 6 minutes left to race, third position. You've got to go late, haven't you?
I'd look to go late. I really would.
Yeah, I would too.
I think it's probably the best decision. We'll see what happens there. Damn, there are many people racing. Indeed, there are 36 cars here. As this is O'Reilly having a look at the inside on that of Langley. Through the inside they go. Pro champion versus Pro-Am champion. Bit of a tap on Langley's car. All manages to stay as they was. And I believe that was Bolton who's just come out on circuit ahead of them. Although Langley looks up the inside at Cascades. That is a bold move. You don't see many overtakes at Cascades. And Langley nearly got it done. But look at the trainer cars.
Yeah, look at him as O'Reilly's having a look up the inside. I
believe Ben's had another problem, Kelly. Sorry, because Chris has put in the chat, and again, same corner. So I believe Ben has potentially had another moment. Indeed he has, because he's dropped behind Rob Smith now. The car doesn't look badly damaged, but back to that queue of cars.
And it is a queue, a real queue, and all these drivers, as I said, there's points all the way down now. We're early days with the championship. The likes of Ben and O'Reilly need to still score points, as many points as possible. So none of this. Whoa! As we have Bolton round. I don't know if he touched. Yeah, I don't know if he touched the back of Ligier or what, but Langley avoided.
Langley as well. Yeah, did Langley?
Yeah, Langley avoided it.
Well, Langley's led him back through, Kelly.
So might have done.
Did Langley tap the back of him, maybe?
I was on board with O'Reilly, and all of a sudden I saw Langley go shooting to the left on a right-hander and Bolton round. So yeah, that could have happened that way. It's difficult to tell. I'm just trying to watch it back on the stream because the stream, I know it's already done by the time I got there. But as you said, Langley has let him back through. So yeah, again, there we go. They go tumbling down the order.
Yeah, indeed they do. Cloudon's got his former teammate of Overtaker on the back of him. They've got a header to court because of the fact he's been into the pit lane. Hoopert's got fastest lap of the race. Dan Davis has been in the pits and has came out, it says, ahead of Hoopert, and he is ahead of Hoopert. So what has happened to Hoopert? Because Hoopert's lost out to Mezin and Silv and Dan Davis. So Dan, on for a net lead, hates British circuits but leads this race.
Yeah, trying to warm his tyres at the moment, because I don't think he's just doing it to show off. But, had a barren spell last season, so he'll be looking at good results every race. Hoopert must have had a poor pit stop, must have missed his marks or
yeah, it's got to be something, because he's lost a heck of a lot of time. He's well behind Dan and Silf in this one. And yeah, Dan had to be warming tyres up there, because that would have been not intentional blocking, but that would have been blocking the way he was weaving it. I've not seen Dan in the pits, so I'm wondering if this is his out lap, and that's possibly why he's getting them tyres up to the correct temperature and pressure. It is a cool day here at Alton Park up in Cheshire, as we've got Vitas, Butcher and Rook into the pits.
Yeah, you say that for mid-October, 15 degrees. I know that's what we're kind of having. That's the kind of weather we're having. But I think it's still quite mild for the time of year. But anyway, it's not raining, so that's something. But Monkey Boy in the chat saying there's a lot of lawnmowers out there. Now, don't start, Andy. Don't start that. You would think Ben was driving a lawnmower the amount of time he's been on the grass tonight, but he's not. So, yes, we'll try and refrain from the lawnmower comments for as long as I possibly can.
Monkey Boy's just jealous he's not driving it back in season one. I've been going through all the old streams and watching them all, and got to see Monkey Boy in the Acura. Oh, who's that off? On the inside line. There was dirt kicked up on the inside. There is. As we say, it's actually pronounced Acura. We've been saying it wrong all this time. There's one of them on the grass, and it's De Bont, who's just gone off at turn one and is in the wall. He's got big front end damage. You see the bonnet slightly lifted, so he's dropped down a lot of places and has got bad damage on that Honda.
Who mentioned lawnmower, and away it went straight onto the grass. I'm sure that's not the case. Algorithms and all that.
I think Andy's just jealous that he's not driving one.
He's got the choice.
I still jealousy. Let's see what happens at the moment, though, because so far Dan Davis is pulling away from Silf. Mezin not really in this fight for the front, 2.9 behind. Hoopert's still got fastest lap of the race, 1.5 back from him. Then it's Eresh. Carlos is P10, but we've got Mike and Diesch in the pit. So where's Dan Davis going to come to Mike? Mike was running just behind Silf, so if Mike jumps Hoopert in this one, that'll be a bad loss, because Mike's coming off the pit limiter very soon, and it's easier to get through turn one out of the pits. Mike's off the limiter now. Here comes Hoopert. Hoopert's done him. So Mike will be back behind Hoopert now. Still a strong start for Mike. He's been struggling.
I think Mike will be. Yeah, I think if Mike gets to the end with only a minute and a half to go, I think he'll be very pleased with this result, personally. I think he should be,
Indeed, closest fight on track at the moment is this one down here. It's Jacob O'Reilly and then Rosowski in the background. Rosowski's not had a great start to his season either, down in 22nd at the moment before everything's updated and everybody's done their stops, and O'Reilly's off at Cascades. Did he get a tap? I'm not sure, but the rear's gone round. There's an Aston Martin off as O'Reilly tries to rejoin the Aston Martins on the grass. They've came together as well. So through the gravel goes Kieran O'Reilly, and his race one defence of his season goes from bad to worse.
I thought he got lost there for a minute, because he was trying to struggle to get back to where he should be on the track there for a minute. So, as I said, you're going to have to write this one off, but he is still scoring points.
He is indeed, so we'll wait and find out what happens as this race goes on. O'Reilly will only score a handful of points, not the way he wanted his championship start this season at all. Komar has started the last lap in the pit lane. We're not expecting him to come out in the lead of this one. But this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Watching the battle for 9th and 10th at the moment. Closest fight on track between Vitas and Clouden, with Williams just in behind here. So Overtaker's dropped off the back of these and lost out to Williams somewhere on the circuit. But Vitas, your current gold leader, so will take a race win outright for gold as well in this race. So a good start to his season. Pro runner-up last year. And is up there ahead of Jamal Clouden. Very quick driver, and we know what Clouden can do on his day.
Absolutely. So yeah, Vitas having an absolute stonking first round, coming up from Pro-Am with a great showing inside the top 10 and the fastest gold man as we speak. I mean, the battle, they're still close.
Sorry Kelly, just saw the yellow flag of Bolton. Don't know if he unsafe rejoined in front of Rob Smith, but he's caused a bit of damage to his and Rob Smith's car. And as he gets it spun back around, that's going to give a handful of drivers an extra place here. It gives the court and gives Ben Rook as well.
Yeah, Silth and Dan just came together, down slow through the chicane, and Silth just tapped the back of him, no harm done, but they are in close company. Is this the last lap?
This is the last lap of the race, so Dan is on to try and get this race win, but Silth
was not giving up.
0.6 of a second behind, so he's closed that gap through the first sector, through the middle sector, should I say. Obviously 5 tenths now due to the tap, but Silth's not giving up on this one.
No, not yet. Dan just looking to see like he's starting to struggle a little bit. Gone very deep through, God, whatever that corner is. I did learn all the Druids, thank you. Went very deep through there, but he's only got to hold on to it for one more corner. Reasonably easy one to defend. And it looks like it's going to be the Baron season. The Baron period is over for Dan because he's going to take the race win, very closely followed by Silth. And the new boy's going to come in third place of Mezin.
Yeah, Mezin,
what a race.
Who put P4 with fastest lap. Mike Matthews, a solid P5
very
there.
solid.
He will be over the moon with that result. Vitas wins in gold then as well. So great win for Vitas in the gold. Cardno 14th ahead of Harris. They will be on the podium in the gold category as well. Lojek P16 from Skunky with Jacob P18 ahead of Rozalski. That of Leger, Keynes, Hibbs, Castro, DS, Ramsel P25 in his Mercedes. Then it's Butcher, Langley for 27th place with Rob Smith 28th, just ahead of Stardog. Then McGowan, DeBont and O'Reilly nose to tail across the line in the Hondas. Then it's to Court from Class with Bolton, and then Ben Rook last place.
Oh, that's not a good start to his championship. I laughed just a minute ago when you were doing that because I switched over to Hooper and he was doing donuts. In true Mackie style. So, I think he can't help himself, that lad. So that's funny. Ben Rook, or Chris Rook saying in the chat, new record for Ben, no points scored. Well, he does get some points, but they are the worst of the points. But he does get some. What a terrible start to his season. But it's early days.
Indeed it is. We'll be back in a few moments' time with race 2 and qualifying 2. Don't go anywhere. Well, that was a bit chaotic.
What were you expecting, my friend?
Yeah, although it was cleaner than I expected again.
Yeah, there wasn't carnage that I thought there was going to be. You really needed to be at the front, didn't you? I mean, fair play to Mike. There was a good solid result, but, he did himself good by putting himself in a strong position at the start.
Qualified well as well.
That's exactly my point. Yeah, exactly my point. Qualified well, that made it made it work for him really. So all good. Dan will be chuffed.
Yeah, he will.
Nearly dropped it at the end now.
So
Christ.
many names to get through now for these points.
I know, it's really difficult to follow anything,
mate. Last night, because it's such a short circuit, it was really difficult to. You were sort of keeping your eyes on the gaps more than who they was, just to try and pick a close fight to watch. And like qualifying, I'm not gonna lie, qualifying last night, this is why I was happy to chat a bit more through quali. It was so hard to see because everybody's so close coming through the final corner to do a lap. You just couldn't see everybody. It's
it's a way to start. Who picked the track?
The Patreons pick the circuits, the Wheel of Names pick the order.
Oh, right, okay. So yeah, so the order was random, was it? Because whoever,
Yeah.
yeah, because whoever picked this first, I mean, for the show, I think it's quite good. I think it's
Well,
great, you know.
I'll let
But
you
it's
into a little secret. It was meant to be Bathurst, and I went, fuck that, it'll be
yeah, yeah,
chaos. And then
yeah.
it come up Alton Park, and I'm not doing it a fucking third time. Fine, we'll stick with Alton Park, and it's been brilliant.
Well, yeah, I said if I was going to say if anybody actually picked this for the first track, they're probably a little bit of some sort of narcissist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it works quite well actually. Right, I'm going to go get a drink a minute.
Yeah, no
Matt,
worries. I'm
I'll
just
be back.
inputting all these.
Okay. What, are we going to be another hour before we start inputting all these?
Nearly done.
Yeah. Back in a minute.
No worries, dude. Oh. Three, one. One, two, two. That was quickly called.
And I'm back.
There he is, dude. Finally done all the results and fastest lap for gold, so brilliant.
There we go, Matt. Victim of your own success, you are.
Wow, got to be done, I think, dude. Got to be done.
Absolutely.
I think the golfing classes was getting a bit too big from silver to bronze and gold to platinum, so I think it makes the championship better for other drivers.
Yes, and we have to keep tuning it to
100%.
make it.
Like Bestie last night, his first 2 podiums because he was second in class both races.
Right, yeah.
So,
Makes him feel good about life.
Well, yeah, that's what it's been brought in for, though, isn't it? These drivers that's not going to get these results to get a podium and have an interview and have a chat and be happy about getting a good result now, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Although Best actually drove very well last night. I think it was 11th and 12th he got overall.
Okay, yeah.
With
How many Pro-Am drivers was there?
31.
Oh, right, okay.
So, well over half, so.
Yeah. So, does it still work that I'm going to, with a reverse championship grid from now on in?
Yeah, so Silver will still start at pole.
Right, so as me coming in at Imola, where's that going to put me on the grid?
Not a clue at the moment, dude. At the minute, at the minute you're not last, but that's only because other drivers didn't race last night.
Exactly, but that will put me towards the head of the grid.
6th at the minute.
Right.
So the minute Gary does a race and those behind you would just score a point.
Yeah, then they drop behind me. So, but yeah, am I right in saying that Silver? Yeah, so Silver reverses.
Silver starts ahead of bronze.
And bronze reverse. Yes, thank you. Silver ahead bronze. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get.
Same as last year. We've kept that the same because we thought it worked quite well.
Yeah.
Because then nobody can blame slower drivers. Nobody can blame faster drivers. They're the drivers in your category fighting for a champion. Especially now, you're fighting them drivers for a championship. So they're the drivers that are ultimately, who you're starting around. Unless you're that front row of bronze, you're possibly you're going to be starting alongside or just behind the silvers.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay.
But Silver won't have that problem of, DJ Phil or Bestie or whoever it is, he's just being so slow and we're brake checking and we've got on that. Same as last year.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's best decision.
I think it worked better than the full reverse grid. I was a bit sceptical of it last season, especially with the overall tables. I think this year's going to be easier to do it because you've got the classes. But I was a bit dodgy over it, especially because of people like yourself who don't do many races. It was like, well, you're taking away the chance of Kelly to have a win and Bestie to have a win and DJ Phil to have a win because they're now starting at the back, especially because you was bronze at the time. It's like they're never going to win a race because they're now at the back. But I just think in terms of the racing, it made it more interesting. And we'll see this more next week onwards for the reverse grid. Next week at the start of the race, unless somebody misses the start, they're going to be in category order. So it's going to be reverse platinum, reverse gold, reverse silver, reverse bronze.
Yeah.
So the categories are all going to be with each other at the start of the race.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as opposed to just a straight championship reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I did a straight championship reverse now based off of last night's results, Bettison, who's a bronze driver, is 5th in the championship at the minute. Bestie's 13th.
Yeah.
So they'd be starting right in the thick of most of the silver drivers. Fuck me, look at them all flooding out the pit lane.
Oh yeah, I've just seen it. Yeah.
You've got an extra 5 minutes in this session. Fucking hell.
I'm on board with Hooper and he moved almost straight away and so did 10 cars in front of him.
Dan's first car on track.
Well done. Track position's going to be absolute key. It might go right for me at Imola because last time we raced Imola I had good pace, but you remember I had a qualifying ban. So
you had a cracking race engineer that night as well again.
Yeah, and it was dark and I didn't realise it was fucking dark.
Yeah.
So could be a good Imola. We'll see.
Just your pedals and your double shifting.
Fucking upshift was the pedals were my pedals are now better with the configuration I've got, but upshift, man, Jesus Christ! I was starting to go up the hill at Watkins and it would pull 2 gears, and then you have to go down again, and then oh god.
Dan's got to hope and pray that none of these cars in the pits come out on track now.
Yes.
Because otherwise they're going to have to try and get out his way on this circuit. Right, we'll go back live in 5, 4. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, as we enter qualifying 2, which will obviously become the solo qualifying come next week when we go to the reverse grids. We'll give you the championship standings, not going to give you the overall because obviously that'll be race results. We'll give you it by the 2 classes. So the Platinum class, Dan Davis leads from Sylph by then Mizin, Hoopert, Mike Matthews, Eresh, Komar, Carlos, and then Clouden is a few more points behind Carlos than what he would normally be. That's because Vitas, your gold winner, finished in between the pair of them. So Clouden is 6 points behind Carlos, not the traditional 3. It's then Williams overtaker, Matt Wright, Skunky, Jacob Watawak. We'll try and get his name right for the rest of the season. Yep. Rozalski, Leisure, Diaz McGowan, DeBont, O'Reilly, Bolton, Rook, and then Schmidt, who's not here tonight. And in gold it is Vitas, who has got an even bigger gap over Cardno, due to the fact of where they finished overall. The gap is 16 points in that championship. From Michael Harris, Lojek, Keynes, Hibbs, Castro, Ramsel, Butcher, Langley, Smith, Stardog, DeCourt, and Class. And what I like about these classes, Kelly, is this is what could win you gold or lose you platinum. The difference now, the fact that it is overall points, it really could win or lose you a championship here by who you finish around in the other categories.
Yeah, you have a really strong result in your category. So the gold category has a really strong result, as exactly we saw with Vitas. Do you know what I mean? A really good strong results put him 16 points ahead. After the first race, that's incredible.
And in the Constructors' Championship, it's Schwitzer Racing who lead from Simplay Racing in 5th place, so a strong showing from them too. Racing Softs are P3 from Cloud9 Racing, Team Audio Sport are 5th, with MSA 6th, Team GBR, Quantum Motorsport, Momentum Motorsport, Utopia Motorsport, The Casuals, Blaze Motorsport, and Greasy Bandits Racing at the bottom of the pack, as Dan Davis a 32.8 on his opening lap and is about to find the traffic of DeBont. The problem is he can't flash DeBont to get out his way because DeBont's just started his first flyer.
This is going to be the problem, and all the cars on track bar number 4, whoever that is. He's the only one. He's the only one not on track at the moment. That's a lot of cars around here, an awful lot. So getting a gap is going to be absolute key. I'm on board with Hoopert right at the moment. He's on his first flyer, and he has got a little bit of gap in front of him. So he's got a little bit of space to Patrick Leger, and hopefully he can make good of it. It's finding that gap is going to be so important. And track position's everything.
You look at the gaps around here, Kelly. There isn't a big enough gap to really feed into to get a good lap time in, is there? It's so tight around here.
Absolutely so tight. And you want to make sure that every lap's going to count.
Yeah, indeed you do. Good evening to the Send It Sim Racing boys in the chat as well. Hope you're well. And,
good evening. What
a start to the season this is going to be. Sorry, I said Dan was on an invalid lap. It's O'Reilly that's number 1. Danny's number 16.
Right.
So O'Reilly's going to come and do his first flyer. Does it as he's crossed the line already. So is Dan trying to pick up car 77. That is Overtaker, who's got his former teammate of Clouden just behind him. And where does Overtaker go? Not the strongest of qualifying from Overtaker in the first race. He'll want to do better than that at the moment. 20th place he started. But he has got a bit of clear air in front of him.
And it's changed at the top. Rozalski has gone quickest himself. Hoopert now goes quickest with a 32 too. From Rozalski, from Sylph, from Dan, from Clouden in the top 5 at the moment as well. But already you get to 3rd and there's half a second in it. So lots of time to be found round here. We saw a 32.0 in the first quali. Will we see a 31? I'm with you on this one, Matt. It's going to be extremely difficult.
I just can't see where somebody's going to pluck a 31 from in this session. It's just so tight and like we said, not a lot of gaps out there at all. Eresh looks like he could be starting from the back of the grid, but we are still got 9 minutes left to qualifying to go, so we'll see what they can do in this one. The 941 of Stardog's about to finish a lap time here before the number 2 of Mezin is going to come and finish his next lap, and he's got Vitas, your gold winner, behind him as well. So Mezin completes his lap. Vitas comes across the line, and Vitas goes P4. What a lap from the goal driver.
Yeah, he's some boy, isn't he? He's showing his class. I think possibly one of the ones in the best position could be Skunky, 302. He's probably got one of the biggest gaps in front of him as car number 12, whoever that is.
12 is Jacob.
So they've got big gaps in front of them as 441 now.
Sorry, Hoopert's just got past car number 12 and Hoopert's going to go to the pit, so he's not going to do another lap. I was going to say Hoopert was in a lovely position to get a lap time on the board, but he's gone
Dan
to the pit.
Goes second.
He does indeed. Here comes
goes second.
Rook. He now goes second.
He goes second, stamping a statement on this qualifying session. It looks like Hooper has no, he hasn't given it up yet. He's still got 8 minutes. Surely he hasn't he ain't set back unless he thinks that's the best he can do. He done better in his first qualifying, so we know there's 3/10 there. Ben Rook, as I said, jumps up into second. He wants to make amends for that first poor race. Dan Davis in third. Mezin in fourth. This guy come from nowhere. He's going to be, as I said, the wild card at the beginning of the show. And Vitas, he's really flying, isn't he?
Yeah, looks good at the moment. We saw Kieran Argent put it on pole, which was very unexpected last night. So are we in for another one of them tonight? And the tyres, Kelly, 8 tyres for this week. We dropped to 7 tyres next week due to the reverse grid. If you've gone through a few sets of tyres in practice, which they may not have tonight because we had to do a quick server reset with only 15 minutes practice left, so if you had gone through a few sets of tyres, that would have been crucial as to what you do in qualifying. We didn't see many people put a fresh set of boots on last night in the second qualifying, so that could be crucial going forward into next week's qualifying session for race 2.
Absolutely, and what we also haven't actually said about is that the feature race is 10 minutes shorter than it was. So you and me both believe that 7 sets is more than enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were saying 6 last season, me and you.
Yeah, I think you could do it on 4 if you needed to. I do. Without the second qualifying, I reckon you could do it on 4. 1 practice test, 1 qualifying set, 1 sprint set, 1 race set.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what happens.
You know me, I don't change tyres. I'm still running the same tyres from 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, and they've just done a 6-hour race.
Exactly. yeah.
So
they're a bit second-hand now.
Bolton comes across the line, only improves up to P number 12. Then it's the 302, that of Skunky, who's currently 25th. Comes across the line now, shoots himself up, propels himself up into P10. So a heck of a lap that there from Skunky. Where's the 99? I believe that is... the 199 of DeCourt it was coming across the line. He moves up to 26th. A few improvements just behind as well. Let's try and find car number 4 of Aresh, who is now on circuit, so he's getting a lap in Leger, down in 34th at the moment, so not a great qualifying from him. Matt Wright's about to set a lap time before the 999 of De Bont. What does Matt Wright do? Currently 24th, stays 24th. What about De Bont? He goes up into P3. So a good lap there from him. And look at that, half a second separating the top 14 drivers.
Yeah.
Kelly, it's a second to Ramsell in 25th.
Wow. I mean, it's a short lap round here, yes. Yeah.
Gareth, the feature race is 60 minutes long.
That's madness. So if you're going around thinking, I'm only gaining a... Yes, that's right.
Gaining a tenth.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going around thinking, I've only got 2 tenths in this, 2 tenths could make a hell of a difference. A tenth or 2 tenths could do you so much good. And losing that 2 tenths could be a readjustment, understeer, oversteer, any of that gone. And that tumbles you down, further down the order.
Really could.
Yes, indeed. Keep your comments coming. Keep your comments coming. We love to hear them. We will get through them. We haven't quite got as much time as we probably usually have most weeks being the new season. We've got things to tell you about and things to mention a few times. The changes in the racing. As I say, we're down to a 60-minute, got less tyres, so on and so forth. So bear with us, but please keep the chat coming. We do love to hear from you. We do love to know that you're out there, and it makes us feel wanted.
Kelly, look at the top 3. The top 3 are separated by under a tenth. That is crazy.
It is, and there's still more time out there, Matt, for sure.
Provided you get yourself in the right spot, indeed there is.
Exactly.
54 of Diaz. Next car to come to a line on what looks to be a valid lap time at the moment. Then it's car 4 of Aresh, who's put a lap time on the board Nearly 1.5 seconds separate the top 34, by the way. That's how close that one is, as it's now the top 26 separated by a second. Scrap that, it's now the top 27 that are covered by a second. It is absolutely crazy here at Alton Park. As Berserker says, the level is really high. Indeed it is. Kelly's phone is blinging like a madman in the background.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That's DJ Phil.
Oh, lovely.
For some unknown reason, DJ Phil is sending me.
Well, DJ Phil, if you are listening, please stop so we can stop the blinging in the background.
Yeah, pack it in. Do you know what I'm going to do?
I'll tell you what, I know what DJ Phil's probably saying. He's probably on about talking about Christmas.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, no.
Oh, okay. Because he keeps messaging me to talk about Christmas on the streams, and I'm not going to do it.
It is
only 11
about
weeks.
Christmas, don't
I
you?
know you are. It is only 11 weeks to go, but I'm not going to mention it. We did really well last season, so we're not going to do it this year.
You didn't mention Christmas. Well, I don't know.
Apart from the fact you've become a part-time commentator and you're going to New Zealand for the final, because you're missing the final 2 weeks, you know. So
yeah.
No, I hope you have a great time out there, Duke. 'Cause I know you enjoyed it last time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Thoroughly looking forward to barbecuing on Christmas Day. That's going to be absolutely fantastic.
In New Zealand you going?
We're starting the trip in Wellington, which is the capital. We're staying there for about 5 days, and then we're going up to the Bay of Islands, which is at the very top of the North Island. So New Zealand on the bottom of the world, where we're on the top of it. So that means that you're closer to the equator. So the Bay of Islands is the warmest part of New Zealand, and we're staying up there just outside Russell, which is the original capital of New Zealand. And I can tell you all kinds of stuff about New Zealand, but I won't bore you with it because we are racing. There'll be plenty of weeks to talk about New Zealand.
Indeed there will. Fury's granddad says, I'm still here, Kelly. PN trains
are tighter
than a tight thing those times. Gareth Anderson, unbelievable times, splitting the whole grid of Berserker. Imagine you're only 1.6 seconds from first and it makes you finish dead last. Well, let's take a look at dead last.
I've been there, my friend.
That is Jacob, who is 1.6 seconds off of first, except when you've normally been there, Kelly, you're probably not normally 35th.
No. If I'm 1.6 off the leading pro, I'd be extremely happy that I was in that close to the front. So yeah, I would be in last, but probably with about 3 seconds, if not more. And as I said, Fury's granddad there, number 1 superfan, followed by PN number 2 superfan.
No, number 3. Peaceful Stepdad's number 2.
Sorry. PN. Sorry, number 3 superfan.
Them two have been here from day number 1. Long-term supporters of the channel. No, I don't think. No, I think Tony coming around a similar time as yourself.
All right,
Peaceful Stepdad's been here since day number 1, though. He's been a long-term supporter of the chat. What a guy. What a group, what a community we've built. We've got 32 people currently watching the stream. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new. We've gained, by the way, since Saturday, 39 subscribers. So that is a massive effort.
You know why? Sweet and sticky in your box.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Damn right. Where else would you want to be on a Thursday evening?
Exactly, and that was on a Saturday. How much more exciting is that on your day off to Sweet and Sticky? And I was having an absolutely brilliant event right up until I got in the car.
Yeah,
I was happier in the comms box for sure.
Indeed.
I was actually a little bit gutted when I had to leave.
I missed you in the comms box, to be fair.
I miss you too.
Me and Phil carried the flag though with interviews while you was gone.
We had quite a few people in for interviews throughout that, which was great to have. It really was good. I chatted to Ben and to Silth and a few others, and it was absolutely brilliant to do it that way. And I missed you all. Just at that point where I crashed into the pit wall, I certainly did miss being in the comms box. So it was a good event. You can see it back like you can every race on Simplay, and there's been some absolute corkers. As we come towards the end of qualifying,
look at Tony doing the promotional work in the chat. What a guy! Oh, what an absolute guy!
It was great. You don't get anything further for being number 1 superfan. There's not like a trophy for it. Do you know what I mean?
You get our love and respect is all you get, as here comes Eresh.
And that's all anybody ever needs.
Top 16, half a second. That is crazy, by the way. Eresh moves up to 9th, gets a little bit closer. The 441 of Hooper. Last chance for a 31. Goes very, very close, but doesn't get it across the line. Clowder moves up to 4th at the very death. Rosowski doesn't do anything. I think that was Butcher who's just moved up into 18th place. We've got the 111 coming to the line. That is that of Comer, who goes up into P11 at the very end. Who is car number 25? That is Lojek. At the moment, he crosses the line and goes P30. 1 second separated the top 25 at the end of that session. What a session that is. Do you know what I think will be disappointed with that? Not the qualifying they had in race 1. Mike Matthews down in 22nd.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't manage to put it together. Dan's qualified not so good on that one as well. Your first champion pops up in number 6, followed by 7th place O'Reilly as another champion, Silth in 12th, and Overtaker way down as well. They're champions, all champions. But do you know what? I'm going to pop down to Ladbrokes and have a sneaky bet. Other betting people are available, and have a sneaky bet on Hooper for the championship. Did I say that out loud? No. What did I say? Ben Rook for the championship, Team Audio Sport.
In all seriousness, though, do you think Hooper?
I don't know. He's had the minerals before to be right at the front. I don't know. Maybe the BMW. We've said this about the BMW that he was driving. The BMW is a weird car, and you've agreed with me. You get to a point with it where you can't seem to get to tune it or make it go any faster. You hit a brick wall with the BMW. And I think maybe Hooper has found something in the Lamborghini. But as I say, he's no stranger to the front of the grid. Without my Audio Sport hat on, I'm thinking Hooper has an outside chance for the championship.
I like that. Just look at that grid, by the way. Look at them cars.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God, this is on the rear wing of Hooper. Just looking back, they're all dipping down under the Alton Park Bridge. They're all starting on the dip.
I mean, some of them
back.
Some of them are so far back they're in Donington Park.
Yeah, indeed they are. Rob Smith is missing Dragons Den and Taskmaster to listen to you too. Well,
that's
because we're better.
Because we're better. Yes.
That's Wellington Jimenez who says he's listening while driving back from university because we're better than university. A lovely for this crazy split. Wow, you crashed, says Monkey Boy.
Surely not. You know it's not like me to crash. No. It's not actually.
Not like it's like Monkey Boy to hit his teammate. But
and he did. Well, there you go. Yeah. And not round the track that I know quite so well and was so good round in previous. It's really quite embarrassing. Absolutely quite embarrassing. I almost threw my steering wheel away on Saturday.
Monkey Boy's a big Honda Team Dynamics McNeil fan. What track are we at?
That one. Yeah, of course.
Park?
Yes. What am I talking about? Yeah.
What did I nearly say on commentary last night? I restrained myself.
I bet you did. I bet I bet that was a head and heart moment for you, wasn't it? Your head wanted to say that fact, that motorsport fact that you knew so well, and we all know so well. But your heart didn't want to diss the Hondas and the Team Dynamics, did they?
That's what it was. It wasn't about not laying into them two. It was about not disrespecting Team Dynamics and the Hondas. Yeah.
It was about your loyalty, wasn't it? It was about your faith. Yeah.
Keynes has missed the start. He's back into the pit lane, so Keynes has missed the start from where he is on the grid.
I was just about to say, I was just about to finish that with how incredibly sad you are, but no.
I am incredibly sad.
Yeah.
I've just thought I've not been put to the qualifying two. Who took the gold pole position there, by the way? I think it was Vitas. Indeed, it was Vitas who took the gold pole position.
Yes, of course it was. He was so high up, yeah.
So good start from Vitas.
And again, gold champion. Early days, I know. We're not even into the second race, but gold champion, Vitas.
While he's mixing it up there, Kelly, this is exactly what he needs to do to outscore the other gold drivers by a big margin.
Absolutely, and maybe I'm just talking rhubarb tonight. We're at Alton Park. Alton Park is a unique place by its nature. Maybe I'm just talking complete rhubarb. We're at Nürburgring next week, aren't we? And that's a more traditional GP circuit, current GP circuit. Maybe that there's overtaking opportunities. Big track, runoff areas, so on and so forth. Let's see next week, but. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We should do one of those closed envelope things, shouldn't we? We should do a. We should all. Well, certainly you and me, Matt. Just write down some names and put them in an envelope.
Yeah.
See what happens at the end of the season.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one. To see what we selected and then what we thought as the season went on. That could be an interesting one to go back to. I'm going to try and get the qualifying results as inputted as I can. Now I'm not, because I've pressed back on the
just spare a thought, everyone, for poor old Matt, because he has to type all these things in. All these 35 drivers, he has to type all these results in, and he only does that one finger at a time typing thing. Do you know what I mean? He's not fluid with this at all.
Oh no, I've got this. Either way, we're about to get underway for race 2. We'll try and get the grid stats put on at the very end, but we're about to get underway for race 2. It is Hoopert's alongside that then, and it's a drive-through for car 77. That is Overtaker, who's got a drive-through. Already a good start for Hoopert coming into turn 1. It's a little slow for Mesin. That's put Clouden on the back foot against De Bont. De Bont's going to now try and attack Mesin round the outside of Cascades. This will be a brave move from the Honda driver. Mesin keeps it on the inside line. Round the outside of Cascades they go, and there, in typical fashion, the Honda loses out. It puts him on the back foot a little bit, because this is going to give Clouden a run down to the little left-hand kink, which De Bont has come across to cover off, and Clouden can do nothing about that one, and stays there as though De Bont goes off at the little kink. This is going to be into the wall, surely. No, it's not. He manages to stop it in time, but look at how long he's going to have to wait for as everybody flies through the first sector. Dan got ahead of Ben, who dropped behind him. Then it's O'Reilly, Eresh from Silf, who's up to 10th. Vitas lost out to 11th place. Then it's Comar. They're obviously all going to gain a place with De Bont going off. Skunky, Cardno at the minute. It's all started to be a nice little race. Everybody away cleanly there.
Absolutely, and not too much carnage at all there. Everyone away cleanly. Just De Bont with it's dropped him way down the order, but no real harm done. He managed to get it stopped before he ploughed it into the wall. And you have one serious accident if you hit that hard enough, believe you me. All's well at the moment, but it's Hooper who's converted that pole into nearly a second lead already. He's out in front. Long way to go. So there's 60 minutes in this race, but track position is everything, and all he's got to do is keep it together.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Dan's already giving Clouden a flash of the lights as they come down towards Old Hall Corner for the second time in this race, and through they go. So Benrook's 5th from Kieran O'Reilly, Brzezowski P7, Eresh P8. Then it's Silf, Vitas up to 10th, Comar 11th from Skunky. Skunky has a look at him towards Cascades. We'll jump back to the rest of the order in just a moment. Skunky doesn't get that done. Cardno 13th from Williams 14th. And it's Bolton, Carlos, Leger from Lojek. Mike Matthews up to 19th. Then it's Rob Ramsell running in a solid P20 for him. Diesh from Hibbs with Matt Wright 23rd. Castro in 24th. To Court from Stardog. From Langley, from Butcher, from Jacob, from Class, who's got Class is actually going up the inside of Jacob, and he gets that job done. Harris from De Bont, who's off at the kink again. So he's done the same thing twice in a row. That'll give Keynes a place and may give Overtaker a sniff of an overtaking opportunity. De Bont back on without hitting the wall, and McGowan boxed at the end of lap 1. So an interesting choice to pit so early.
Absolutely. When you run off where De Bont did on that back straight, as it were, before you come down to the hairpin, as soon as you start to drift out there and you touch the grass, you know you're going out on the grass. It's just so unavoidable once you start getting out there, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah. It's like it pulls you in, and that you can't bring it back. And well done though to De Bont for not putting it in the wall twice. Williams has just got past Cardno in the background.
Is he paying for his own damage?
Sooty Apex is in the chat. There we go. Hello, Matt and Kelly. Well, good evening, Sooty Apex. Cardno loses out to them. That is Bolton, who he's just lost out to, and that's Leger around on the exit of the final corner. He can get that one turned around because he's facing towards the grass. And we've got a fight down here between one of the BMWs. I believe that is Harris, and it is. He's looking to get past Jacob. Was on the podium for gold in race 1, gets past Jacob. Jacob's going to think of having a look back up the inside into turn 1. No can do there for Jacob though. So Leger's now had a moment. Down the order he goes. Did Skunky come out the pits? Skunky didn't do his stop. We've lost Skunky from the race.
Right, okay, I don't know what happened there. That's unfortunate. Hopefully, it wasn't it wasn't a quit. Let's hope it was just a problem or whatever, but a shame nevertheless to lose anybody. Good evening to Sutty, another ex-Audio Sport driver and a Simplay legend. The Sutty Send It, as we've used many times in the past as a reference to a ridiculously crazy dive bomb down the inside.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be an interesting one in this race to see what's going to happen. In fact, did we lose Downey? Because I've just read a message in chat that Rob Smith may not be able to finish this race. No, it is definitely Downey that's gone because he was in the pits and he's no longer there at the moment. Clouden just holding up Dan. That's allowing Rook to get onto the back of Davis here. And we'll see if the new number one driver can get through. Closer fight happening down there between Carlos and Cardno at the moment.
Look at the field spread.
I know.
It's hardly any.
Hardly any. At all. There's just one long train. It's like playing Snake when you get to the later levels.
Snake.
Back on the old Nokias.
On your Nokia.
On your Nokia, yeah.
Target reference there for Matthew. Starting to show his age, bless him.
Definitely. Hey. Yeah.
Nokia.
Ben
on your 6210.
Ben wouldn't understand what Snake on a Nokia would be, would he?
No, he wouldn't. No.
He wouldn't understand what that game was at all. And that's how we used to get by with games. We didn't have touch screens.
Absolutely.
And
you have absolutely.
Snappers.
You have absolutely no idea when I say ZX Spectrum.
Not a clue.
You know, so not a clue. There you go. They're generational. First generation gamer. That's me. I was back there at the Atari and Pong.
You were playing Tiddlywinks way before then, I have no doubt.
Mate, I was talking, I'd never played Tiddlywinks. Oh, who's that going slowly? That's Hooper. Hooper's had an absolute moment, Matt, because he's been mugged by the top, coming up 4 as Ben Rook sticks one down the inside. I don't know what happened to Hooper, but he made a right royal mess of it because he's lost like 5 places.
Yeah, and Ben's got through as well now, so Mezzin leads this race from Cloud and from Dan Davis, from Ben Rook. It's then Hooper who's P5, but Hooper coming straight back to Ben Rook here, putting the attack on him straight away. So was that a similar mistake to maybe what he did in race 1? Dan bouncing all over the grass there as he's lost out to Cloud a little bit in this race. So a great job at the moment from all these front runners. Hooper with the early mistake, just going to try and keep our eyes on as many battles as we can. So if you see a fight on the circuit,
one big battle.
It's one big battle, but if you see a fight happening on circuit, please let us know, as it looks like Matt Wright's got ahead of Rob Ramsell for 19th and 20th, because that says Ramsell's in front and it's not Matt Wright now, but Ramsell coming under pressure from that of Castro in his Ford Mustang as well. We haven't touched on this. It's had a BOP change. So it's lost 11 kilograms in weight, but it's gained a 20% restrictor for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Now there's a car that's not going to be used hardly ever again because it's had its wings clipped very severely and is a lot slower than it used to be. In the chat we've got 3210 from Sutty. I said 8210. I'm sure that's a Nokia as well. And ZX Spectrum was awesome, says Rob Smith. You sound like a first generation gamer as well. As Ben Rook has a moment, Hooper can't capitalise, but look at O'Reilly having a bit of a champion's look round the outside as they come to the chicane before Knickerbrook, but it ain't happening there, my friend.
You know, as before race 2 you said Hooper for this championship. I'm going to say this: I can't call anybody for this championship, because I think one little mistake this season, you could tumble well down this field, and this season is going to hurt you. I think this is going to be one of our closest seasons we've had in a while. Vitas on the back of Rosowski, gold winner and gold pole sitter for race number 2, with the fastest lap he got in race 1 for gold. So he's currently flying up in P10 at the minute. The next driver in gold is that of Cardno, but a few places back at the moment. Train gap starting to fan out now. That track map looks a little bit more space on it somewhere, but it is there. Traffic. I tell you what, we haven't spoke about traffic. Traffic was horrendous last night. Benny Varga tried to put his BMW like the eye of a needle through 4 cars coming through Knickerbrook. Who rudely, nobody still asks why it's called Knickerbrook. Nobody's
asked, have they? We've told that story so many times that just everyone's like, we know why it's called Knickerbrook. Shut up and say something interesting. And I tell you what is
in the pits.
I'll tell you what is interesting is Hooper is all over the back of Ben Rook like a cheap suit, I tell you.
Who's that off? Sorry, Kelly, somebody's off in the background. That's the McLaren of Butcher. So that's allowed a few cars in the background to get through.
Absolutely. Oh, and that's Ben Rook with a mistake, the same mistake that Hooper made, and Hooper punished him for that mistake in the chicane and goes in front of him. O'Reilly.
Oh, Cloudon's had to cut the chicane. That's Cloudon who's cut across the chicane. Not sure if Dan gave him a tap or something. Doesn't look like there's any damage on the car, so Cloudon's made his own mistake. Dan's giving him a flash of the lights. Dan wasn't ahead. Cloudon has yielded that time, so it's back to where it was. Between Dan and Cloudon, so nothing gained there for Jamal, but Dan looking racy. But Cloudon was on the back of Mizzen as that was happening, Kelly, while he was talking through what happened to Ben.
So I mean, Dan to have given the position back, there must have been
Dan didn't give the position back.
Sorry, he didn't. Front. Right. No. Oh, I beg pardon. Right. Right. Okay. So he hopped the chicane and managed to stay in front. Okay, I'm back on the same page. Back in the room.
They're going to quickly have Hooper gaining on them. Rook fending from O'Reilly with Airesh and Silf right behind him. This is going to be one heck of a season to commentate on this year. You are absolutely going to be entertained this season. You're not going to want to miss a single piece of the action. We're going to drop down to the back part of the field now. Harris is on the back of Diaz, who is in his own right on the back of Stardog, who's only 8 tenths off the back of the court. And these are the types of battles we're going to get. All right, Alton Park's a tight, twisty, narrow, short circuit. It may be a bit more spread out come the Nürburgring, which is a little longer in lap. Just under 2 minutes, if I remember right. 150s, I think it was. 140s, maybe. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
A little longer in its lap. But yeah, what a race this is going to be here tonight. This is fantastic stuff already. As DeBont's done his pit stop, Cardno is now in. Although Cardno's got a red internet spike. I wonder if he's had a disconnection.
Could be. I mean, the top 4, top 5, top 6, top 7 are still really, really close company. The leader is not getting away. Midson with a great start to his Simplay career with 3 wins in the Who Darren Cup is now going on to stamp his mark in GT3. But long way to go. We're only 10 minutes into this race, and already I am sweating like a fat kid in a cake shop.
Yeah, and what a start to the season it has been so far. It's been absolutely fantastic to see. By the way, Dan Davis becomes now the tied most successful driver at Alton Park with Mezin, as that is Carlos, who's just spun Williams around for 14th and 15th. Williams has bounced off the wall. Can he get it back going? Believe he will, but he's got to try and rejoin as carefully as he can. Airesh and Silf attacking each other down to Cascade. Silf looking around the outside, can't get the move done there. Car number 12 is into the pits, it looks like, with the yellow flags. That could be a return to pit lane for him. And Harris still within a 10th. Look at the train of cars here, and this is all sat behind. No, it's not Carlos. Sorry, that's all sat behind Rob Ramsell.
As that happened, Hooper had a moment into turn 1, which put Ben Rook back in front of him. Now they're going for it tooth and nail for that position, as Dan Davis is still all over the back of Cloudon. Cloudon sucking up the pressure like an absolute pro that he is.
Yeah, and he's so easy to defend around here, so Cloudon won't be bothered by Dan Davis on the back of him. And Dan made a little mistake there through the chicane, because look, Ben Rook is right on the back of Davis now.
I think it might have been Cloudon who was a bit squirrely, and Dan had nowhere to go because they've both just cruised up to the back of this pair. So Cloudon just turned into the cork in the bottle here of these top runners, and Hooper with a look round the outside and tries to send it, but Ben Rook stays to the inside, got that one covered. Hooper with a good run out of the last corner, but I don't think he's going to make it stick anywhere soon. We go in all the classic game chat now. Commodore 64, Spectrum 48K. I love all these first generation gamers. Daley Thompson's decathlon means absolutely nothing to Matt. Left, right, and you break the joystick. You used to buy Atari joysticks because they were harder to play decathlon because they didn't get
sorry,
smashed
Kelly
up.
Dan's got a run coming into the little left-hand kink on the inside of Jamal Cloudon. Cloudon's going to hold it strong around the outside, just clips the grass, manages to keep it on the circuit, and will defend the inside line. Hooper's looking at Ben looking up the inside of Dan. All happening here at Alton Park, and somehow Cloudon round the outside of the kink held on to it.
How did they manage to keep that all together? I think Dan probably gave Cloudon the respect he deserves, because that is not the place you want to go side by side. Cloudon not giving this one up. He's not rolling over and playing dead on this one just because he's got the champion crawling all over the back of him, and he is crawling all over the back of him. And my God, I don't know how much curve Dan took there, but there was plenty of it in that Lexus. And Hooper here is desperate to make the positions as well. So.
Sorry, Kelly. So look back from Clouden, look at the train, because O'Reilly, Ayres, Silf, Rosowski, Vitas, Como and Skunky, they're all coming.
Hooper's through. Ben gone wide. Hooper's through. He's now going to have to defend from O'Reilly, but I think he'll have O'Reilly covered off on this one. But a mistake from Ben. The pressure he cracked from Hooper. Hooper is immediately onto the back of Dan Davis, and again all over him as he continues to attack Clouden. And we've got 30 odd other cars in this race.
This could be exactly what Dan Davis needed in this race. We've lost another driver from this race. Just trying to work out who that is. It is Diesch, who we have lost from this race as well. So he's retired from this one. It looks like I can't see car 54 out there.
Yeah.
No, he is. No, sorry, Diesch is still there. Apologies. I've got the wrong screen on. Let me just change that one over, because we are down to 33 drivers. Cordno is back in. I'm not sure who we have lost, but we're down to 33 from 35.
I was just laughing at Gareth Anderson in the chat, talking about the noise it made. You're talking about the loading noise, that all the games had to load, and they took like 10 minutes to load a game, and then you get to the end of it, it said failed, and you'd have to start all over again. Not like this modern world that we live in, and they load in seconds. It took just absolutely forever to load a game, and as I said, a failure would just drive you mental. I know exactly what you're talking about. Lovely to see all these first generation gamers.
Yeah, if you say so.
I do, mate. I do. I pity you guys. I really do.
De Bont. It's De Bont we've lost. De Bont is the driver that has retired.
Yeah, he's had again, I hope that's not a rage quit because he was having such a dismal start to the race. Let's hope not.
Well, that could be 2 qualifying bans already coming for the Nürburgring.
That could be. We don't need all that. There's still points to be had, and they could be valuable at the end of the season. Not saying that he has rage quit, but if he has, I envy you. Sorry, I don't envy you. I pity you guys who didn't live through the first generation of gaming and Spectrums and all the hassle that went with it, and where we are now, and all the previous PlayStations and Mega Drives and SNES and home computers and Amstrads and all the rest of it. You missed out on so much in life. I'm sorry, Matt. I really am.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine. So we've lost 2 drivers from this race in Gowney and De Bont, but look at this. Clouden, Davis, Hooper, Rook, O'Reilly, Ayres, Rosowski. Silf has pitted. That could be a great option from Silf. The last car has just gone past and is at Cascades. As Silf is now coming out the pits. Who is the 56 that is in the pit lane? That is Williams in for his stop. So Silf's got a bit of clear air, and then it's Overtaker. Of course, he had that drive-through penalty. That's why he's so far at the back at the moment. Williams looks like one to have left the race as well. No, Williams is still in P30 at the moment. There he is, just leaving the pit lane now. He is still in. I do believe Cordno must have had a disconnection because he hasn't done his pit stop, and he's down in 32nd place. But Castro,
it's a show.
Just trying to see some other fights happening around the circuit. Castro trying to gain on Ramsell. Ramsell running a good 17th. Not felt ultimately comfortable in that Mercedes. Can't get the qualifying pace is what he's been saying, but it feels more consistent in it than the Ferrari. But round here he has struggled, he's been saying in testing all week.
Sometimes you just don't click with this track. Sometimes it's just too hard to work, and I wouldn't blame anybody for that. Gareth said he also had to repair the ribbons on his cassette loader. Again, Matthew knows nothing about what we're talking about. Oh, you know what a cassette is. There you go. He's seen one. He's seen one in a museum. I remember Gareth having a copy version of Street Fighter. And it was a copy version, and it never loaded because it was a copy and had all this fancy protection on it. And then the very few times I tried it and it did load, I was scared to switch off my computer, so I'd leave my computer on for days so I could play that game because there was no guarantee it was going to load again. I think it was Street Fighter or something Kung Fu. Yeah. Anyway. Back to the racing.
This is a heck of a fight for second place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. Rosowski not quite on the back of this pack yet. What a fight this is for P2 though. We're going to go down to Lojek at the moment because he's got Matt Wright gaining on him here. And just looking at the lap times in this race, Clouden is actually matching that of Mizin, but because he's under that bit of pressure, can't gain anything on him. He can't pull away because he's got to keep an eye on Dan and everybody behind. But they are all in the 33s until you get down to Komar in the 34s. Still a few 33s appearing on screen though. This is a fantastic bit of racing around here tonight.
Absolutely, it's given Mizzen the advantage here. He's now 3 seconds ahead.
O'Reilly's in.
I think, yeah, okay. Well, that might be a good shout. He certainly wasn't going forward on the back of this group, and got to say, Clouden doing a cracking job of holding this all together. But again, we're 20 minutes in, third way through the race. Yeah. Still plenty of racing to happen, but they're just letting Mezin get away a little bit now. As Hooper is so close to Dan, he could almost put his hand on the back of his shoulder. Yeah. He's so close for so long.
Well, Skunky's just tried to have a look at the kink on that of Komar as well. I think I like this strategy from O'Reilly and from Sylph, getting this pit stop out of the way while they're in this train of Jamal Clouden. They will have clear air. I really like that strategy. O'Reilly's on his way out the pit lane now. Sylph will get past him, but they've still got to have clear air, and being the team that they are, as Dan looks up the inside through the exit of the Hislop chicane into Knickerbrook, can't get it done. Hooper had a look at Knickerbrook.
Yeah, he did.
This is getting juicy.
Went a bit sharp on the curb, had to correct the back end as he tried to get to the inside a little bit more and react to Dan as Dan goes side by side. Clouden's gone wide. I do hope he just went wide and Dan didn't give him a tap, but Hooper now looking racy. He sees his opportunity to pounce. Dan's got the inside covered off into this last corner. Hooper looks to the inside, tries to get his Lamborghini to the inside, does a little bit but not enough. Dan's going to have the straight line speed to be able to pull away and keep that Lamborghini at bay. Hooper's not done yet. He has a look into one, but as long as Dan keeps his position, Hooper's sideways and he catches it, but it's going to give Ben Rook a run down towards Cascades.
Jamal's off again in the background.
Jamal, after one crash, might have struggled with his tyres now, Matt, mightn't he? Might got his tyres dirty. So Ben Rook now back in front of Hooper as well. So the fortunes for Team Audio Sport just went in half a lap, just went way up. And Hooper right on the edge of traction on that tricky back straight where De Bont's come off. I don't know if Hooper's tyres are starting to give him trouble or what, but he's just been very loose the last half lap.
Yeah, Clouden has as well. I've just watched back on stream, and Dan and Clouden did not make contact. Clouden was just wide through Druids, so no contact there. But Clouden, 2 mistakes in the space of 4 corners, so that's going to hurt him in this one. But now Dan can maybe try and pull away from Ben Rook now that Jamal's not in his way. And Hooper, ebbing and flowing between Hooper and Rook at the moment, isn't it? There's the first one of that this season, as they are really exchanging places in this race.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, and it's all action everywhere you look, and the chat's quite fun as well as we talk about what's Rob said, a good mixture of old farts and young uns in this league makes for some awesome conversations. Absolutely does, and it's great reminiscing about old consoles and all the rest of it. And we've got Usain Bo Pro,
that's Jimenez.
Is it? Right, yeah. I'm young, only been gaming racing for 10 years, and in 2026 I would have been racing for 6 years in international series, absolutely, and long live the gamers. When you're in it, it's in you for life.
Yep, Hooper's just come into the pits again. I like that decision from Hooper. As that is Harris having a look up the inside. In fact, is it Harris? Yes, it was having a look up the inside of Class through the final corner, and Harris gets that place for P23 then. 22, in this race. Hibbs has also decided to come into the box. What a shame, what a drive this is at the moment. Everybody up and down the field looking really, really racy. Now Clouden's off for the hairpin.
Oh, Jamal, it's all turning to custard, isn't it?
I was about to say we was just going to see him on board with the battle with Vitas, Komar and Skunky, but Vitas through, Komar through, Skunky through, Carlos, Bolton, Mike Matthews, and then Matt Wright through. So Clouden's now on the back of Matt Wright. Clouden, when started to rain and it's now started to pour for Jamal Cloudon.
Yeah, it has. He's, I think he's just kind of lost his mojo a little bit, and now it's all, as I say, turning to custard. And Gareth in chat's only been sim racing for about 12 months ago and love it. M2 Series First Sim Play Championship I've joined, and you are very, very welcome. The more the merrier. Yeah. My first sim race, I've been in some, sim racing as sorts. I built Dan Davis his first sim rig out of MDF and an old school chair and a Gran Turismo very poor steering wheel and pedals. And
someone else is off at Druids, can't see who. I think it's the Aston Martin of Diaz. Yes, it is. There's also Starlog off, so maybe them two had a bit of contact through Druids. They've lost a handful of places here now because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob Smith saying 2026 will be 45 years of gaming, having a game system. That would probably have been a grandstand, wouldn't it? Grandstand game system at home, which really you could only really play Pong and a couple of other things. But good to see. I go by, how far back do I go? Yeah, probably about as far as that, to be fair, Rob. Yeah, right back to the Atari 2000, 2800, something like that.
I've been
Matt's glazed over there just for a minute.
20 odd years, I think it is now.
Yeah, what was your first machine?
My first console for anything was a Sega Mega Drive.
Brilliant machine, great machine. Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think Street Fighter was on that. All sorts of games. All sorts of games. You can't beat it. The old school classic.
I've still got a couple of old school machines, mostly PlayStations.
Yeah.
I think Dan's got all of them. Drive through. 77.
Yeah, Overtaker against. That'll be track limits. We've had a drive through at the start, an hour, a second drive through here. So I've obviously gamed racing games for a while, but in terms of sim racing, I've been sim racing since. I'm actually trying to find
I had the original Gran Turismo.
10th of November 2003. So there we go, nearly 22 years.
How can you be so precise then?
Because the first sim I did was on the PC, a sim called Live for Speed on the PC at the time. It was done by a group of guys who'd left the Need for Speed franchise and set up their own thing on the PC. No real licensed tracks, bar Rockingham towards the end. Rockingham being the British VTCC circuit. No proper licensed car apart from the BMW Sauber was the only official licensed car for the F1. And I started on there, and the date says the 10th of the 11th, 2003. That's when I would have started sim racing.
There you go. I certainly wasn't online until more recent years, but yeah, I remember the original Gran Turismo, playing the original Gran Turismo, which was incredibly hard, really. You know, driving a Porsche that just wouldn't handle at all. And the original Formula 1 games, the very original, whatever that may have been, 97, 95, something like that. Bought them religiously, absolutely everyone that came out bought them originally. Probably my favourite must have been Project Gotham Racing. Absolutely loved that race. That was back when I could actually beat Dan from time to time. Not often, but I could.
We've had a few pit runners here. Hooper still with fastest lap of the race. He's now your net pit leader in 16th place. And he's on the back of... I'm not sure he's on the back of, actually. In fact, no, has he been on by Sylph? No, he hasn't. So I'm not sure who Hooper's on the back of here. It's Jacob who is a lap down.
Yeah. So yes, indeed. So he's the highest pit runner at the moment, which he would have been because he pitted from 4th place.
Who's that off? That's Jacob off at the chicane. So
he just had a spin. Just had a spin. So quite a few yet to stop. So Ben must have had a moment, mustn't he? Because he's tumbled down the order. He's in the pits now.
That'll be Wyckoff.
I don't know if he tumbled down the order before that because he was behind Cloudon. I don't know what happened to Ben. Chris, if you're out there, Chris, tell us what happened to
He may not have just crossed the timing line as others have passed him, and that's why he's tumbled down.
Could be.
Mike Matthews is also in the pits as well, and we're watching a fight for 25th between DeCourt, Hibbs, Butcher and Cairns, which looks like it could be a tasty fight. Tucker touring cars, what a game. The only downside is that game didn't have Matt Neal on it.
No, that's the game that I built down Simrig for, an actual sit-in Simrig instead of trying to make it fit onto the table.
That and Colin McRae Rally 2 was the first game I played on wheel.
Great game, Colin McRae Rally 2, where you used to get all those little Easter eggs and stuff like that, where you could get abducted by aliens and stuff like that. If you pulled into the right lay-by, you could get abducted by aliens.
And this was back in the day as well. I used to play Talkatoo with a few friends of my brother, where you could do 4-player, and it had put 4 little squares on the screen, and each square was your car, and that's how we used to game back in the day. None of this online. 4 squares on a screen, and that's how we used to race each other.
We used to play. A lot of Crash Kart, which was Mario Kart, and of course Dan would win a lot over me, his mum, and his sister. But we used to play Micro Machines as well. Do you remember Micro Machines? What a great game that was! Racing across kitchen tables and stuff like that. That was brilliant fun. Micro Machines.
It was like you was little Hot Wheels cars, wasn't you?
Yeah. And you looked down on them. You weren't in them. Yeah. Brilliant.
Hibsan having a look at the back of DeCourt. Maybe he was defending a little bit there from Butcher, actually, because he's not as close to DeCourt coming through that chicane as I thought. We've got O'Reilly gaining on the back of Silf. I'm interested to see this Hoop at Silf O'Reilly pit stop strategy here, because
yes, indeed.
Although Dan's got a bit of clear air now, hasn't he? I suppose since he's got past Cloud, he's gained on Mezin.
He's taken a couple of seconds out. No, but he's taken a couple of seconds out of him. It was nearly 4 seconds. He's down to a second and a half. So
you was right about Ben Ruck, because I'm just looking at his pit stop. He's came out 28th.
Yeah, I
so
think
he's definitely
had
a moment somewhere, Kelly, because he's behind Keynes.
Yeah, Chris hasn't updated us. I don't know where Chris has disappeared to. Again, Gran Turismo comments from Gareth. Gran Turismo was a game that had the XJ220. That was an interesting car in real life as well. Loved that car. Gran Turismo was the first game that I realised that if you don't drive it like you stole it and try to go flat out in everything, if you actually braked 4 corners and apexed them and stuff like that, you went faster. That was the first time I kind of learnt that. Before that, I was trying to drive everything like a boy racer, like I was trying to drive everything in life at that point.
Mezin into the pits as he's Skunky, watching the fight between Clouden and Williams. Clouden just gets a poor run from the chicane. This gives Williams the outside line coming down towards Hislops. There you go. Ford Mustang a little bit hampered in a straight line now. Can Clouden hold on to that inside? He can. Has to use a bit more of that curve, but I think that's compromised him. Williams gets through and gets that move done. Now then, at the moment, that was for 19th and 20th, but race leader has done his pit stop. Where is Hooper? Just coming towards turn 1. Mezin's off his pit limiter. Where is Mezin? There he is, and Hooper is going to go right around the outside. He'll have the inside line for Cascades, and Hooper just gets the job done now. Takes the net lead of this race back. This could be a great strategy for Hooper. Undercut on Mezin, which could mean undercut on Dan, depending when Dan pits, but he's got traffic. If you look at the track map that Dan is gaining on.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was about to say, almost word for word. Hooper has obviously had a great run since he's come out of the pits. Dan was just 1.5 behind Mezin as he went into the pits. Now, as I said, I was just about to comment before that all happened. What does Dan do? He's coming up to traffic. Surely he wants to get out of that. He's in pit. There you go. Answers my question straight away. Let's now see where he ends up. He's going to want a quick pit stop. He's at box 1.
It's all 25 seconds, so it will be 25 seconds minimum.
Yeah.
So,
but that still means you've got to hit your marks and
not repair any damage and not change tyres. Tyre changes now only cost you 5 seconds. Don't forget.
Yeah, and of course he wants to attack the pit in and on the power as soon as the car's dropped, and he's still sat motionless at the moment.
You'll know when he's going because he goes green. He's gone green now. So has Dan Davis just taken the lead of this race? He's off his pit limiter.
I don't know about
you
that.
Bet your bottom dollar he has, because he's already off his limiter. And Hooper only comes to the line now.
Oh.
Dan is ahead by a country mile, but he's now in the traffic.
How? So he made up a second and a half. Where is Mezin to Hooper is well over a second now, and as Mezin starts to look a little bit scruffy, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to be interested in seeing these gaps down to Hooper. It's about 5 seconds. You know what it takes 5 seconds to do, don't you? Change the tyres.
Change tyres, yeah, absolutely.
So
what are you saying? You thinking that?
I think Hooper's took tyres. I don't think Dan has.
Right. Well, we'll find out, no doubt. But we know this can be done on the tyres. We know it can. You know.
I don't know around here, because in all testing all week, Kelly, a lot of drivers have been complaining, and last night and in the M2s, the curbs around here cut through these tyres a bit harder. You get a loss of pressure in these tyres, so I wouldn't be too sure on that one, Kelly, because I feel that, and Dan's Lexus, Dan said it himself before we went on air, he was struggling to get 4 or 5, 6 laps in before he'd possibly have a pressure loss. So if Dan's not changed tyres, that is interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, as I say, Alton Park is a bit of a unique beast, but I don't know. As you said, Dan said he had problems with tyres. I was going to say maybe he's waved a bit of Yoda type setup magic on that Lexus, and been able to run it, because it runs quite hard on the curbs, doesn't it? Yep. The Lexus. We'll see. He's got 26 minutes to hold it all together.
Well, this is the bonus now. I know track position around Alton Park is going to be key, and Dan can defend. Let's not take that away from it. Carlos has got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Carlos will have a stop-go penalty to do. Klaas has done his pit stop. Diaz needs to do his pit stop. And who else? Cardno and Jacob down the pack need to do their stop as well.
Diaz has just let Hupert through without any problems whatsoever. He didn't have to. That was for position, but he did. So Hupert without the headache of a slower car in front of him.
Not really for position, is it? Diaz obviously knowing he's got to do his pit stop. I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm just saying to the audience. Dan Davis did his outlet last time round, so we can't compare lap times, but Hupert was a 33.1 on his last lap. He was 9/10 quicker than Mizin alone last time out. So Hupert charging at the moment. I think Hupert will be on the back of Dan in no time.
I think he might be. I think you're right. And if we're correct and Dan hasn't taken tyres, he will want to nurse these to the end.
There's a car in between Dan and Hupert, by the way. That is Leger. And don't forget, the ruling is 3 corners for blue flags. Now, a chicane counts as 1. No matter if it's a 2-corner chicane or a 3-corner chicane, that counts as 1, because you can't really get out the way in a chicane. So gap down to 3.3 at the start line already. So Hupert's already took half a second out of Dan. And the bonus this year, Kelly, with that losing 5 seconds for a pit stop, them tyres are not only going to be newer, with 10 minutes less to do, but you only lose 5 seconds, not 20 odd seconds. And a stop-go penalty, that's Carlos, who's got 2 laps to do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, there we go. By the way, there we go. Dan 34.3, Hupert 32.6.
Okay, he's catching fast. There's going to be a showdown at the end of this race if they manage to keep it all together. We will see.
Clouded stuck to the back of Williams, by the way, back here for 14th and 15th. He's really stuck to the back of him. Tries to chuck the nose up the inside of Cascades, and Cloudon couldn't get that one done there. Day late, dollar short.
Tricky there.
Very tricky. You don't really see touring cars overtake at Cascades. Never mind a GT car.
Exactly, and the GT car is a bigger beast. So as Patrick's having a bit of a wobble out of Knickerbrook, who still nobody's asked about, and that gives Hooper an easy through before he had to worry too much about the blue flag. So
what was it, 3.5 as they crossed the line?
I wasn't paying attention. Hooper is clearly closer, and he's hunting Dan down, so it's going to be a showdown. I won't be surprised if he'll catch him in the next 5 or 6 minutes, if that, and then we've got a 15-18 minute showdown to see if the young pretender can put one over on the seasoned pro.
Van Montfort has just said closing the gap is one thing, but passing is something else.
Absolutely.
As said by the late great Murray Walker, who in the week last week would have turned 102 years old. And how we miss Murray Walker. We miss him dearly. Carlos has got to do it at the end of this lap.
Yeah, we do miss him dearly. He also said that F1 is if backwards, which wasn't one of his finest moments, but he did tend to sometimes say some very random things. But hey, don't we all?
Because when you think of the modern F1, there's always a lot of what ifs. So,
absolutely.
Murray was onto something. He was ahead of his time.
I think it was heat of the moment kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
it probably was.
I condone that because I have took some absolute rhubarb in this comms box over the years, and I'm sure there's plenty out there will say absolutely you have. And for me, it's all the fun of it. So Hooper again getting close. Oh, as he has a moment into Knickerbrook out on the grass, that's going to lose him valuable seconds. That was a bump over the
what's
curbs.
happened here? Sorry, Kelly. I just turned away from Clouden as you were saying about Hooper. I come back to Hoopert. Clouden and I think Williams have made contact because they was both slow at the hairpin, and Matt Wright went, you know what, thank you mama for the carrots, I'll have the pair of you.
Absolutely, and one mistake can be punished very badly around here. And just back to the chat, and we've got what's he Bob Pro Bo, who is who did you say that was?
Van Montfort.
Sorry,
Van Montfort.
Right, saying that I saw a 220
no, not
Castle
that. Rob Smith who said that.
Sorry, I was
drive
up
through.
one.
Patrick Leger, drive through penalty.
He was struggling. Struggling, to be fair. So probably for track limits. Sorry, the one up from that. Fun fact that this VX220.
That's Jimenez.
Jimenez, yeah, there you go. Good evening, Jimenez. Again, fun fact: the XJ220 was the same mirrors as my dad's Lotus Esprit. Yeah, they all interchanged all the car parts back in those days. The rear lights of a Noble were the same lights as a Mondeo, and you know, so on and so forth. You can go on and on and on about swapped parts. Rob Smith saying saw a 220 at Castle Clean Jag display. Weren't allowed to go faster than the Fiesta Corsa car though. Yeah. Sam Williams, Tocker 2, my first sim, good man.
What car was you on, Tocker 2? Go-to car?
Mate, for me, a bit hard to say, it was probably the Audi.
I
was a big Audi fan, yeah. The Quattro, of course, came up and cleaned up in the Super Tour thing. So it was four-wheel drive. They don't allow that shenanigans now. But it came and absolutely cleaned up first four-wheel drive car on the grid, and took Frank Bieler to Bieler and Winkle. No, I want to say Winkelhock, but I think I've been wrong.
It was either Winkelhock or Bincliffe.
Bincliffe, good one. Yeah, absolutely. But I was also a big Vauxhall fan back in those days.
Yeah.
John Cleland, James Thompson,
Derek
Warwick. Yeah, absolutely. All those Vauxhalls, and what was the other weird guy? Italian
who drove Vauxhall. Gabriele Tarquini.
No, not him. The champion, multiple champion. God, what was his name?
Yeah, Tarquini.
Strange.
Fabrizio Giovanardi.
Giovanardi, that's the one I was thinking of, absolutely. And of course, I've got some pictures of we saw the Renault Laguna, the Renault coloured one, not the Nescafe one, which would have been Alain Menus.
Yeah,
Alain Menus, our local Renault dealership, and I've got pictures of Dan as just a little wee boy sat in the driver's seat of that one.
Someone else drove that Laguna, which pains me to say is my favourite ever looking touring car.
What, Plato, you mean?
Plato, yeah.
In the Nescafe one,
in the blue and yellow one.
In the Renault colours, yeah. That was a prettier one, absolutely. Renault Laguna, everyone loved them. I had one. It wasn't.
Tocker 2 for me was either Volvo S40, Renault Laguna, or of course the Honda Accord.
Of course it was. Yeah, Honda Accord was quite a nice car back
then. The only
then.
reason I used to do the Renault though was because it booted Jason Plato, because you always got rid of the number 2 driver. So it used to boot Jason Plato.
You really are a sad man.
So I was teamed with Alan. I'm a Matt Neal fan, so you know it comes with the territory.
The problem is with you, Matt, when you're a fan, you're an absolute fan.
Die hard.
And die hard fan, and everyone else is rubbish. Then we've seen it with Tom Ingram and everyone who goes up against him, and no doubt the same with Matt Neal, as you just said.
Clouden's missed the chicane. He's missed Hislop chicane. Don't know if he got a tap from Harris. Harris is slow through it, so that's allowed Clouden to get back going. So I believe there may have been contact there. But Clouden's race 2 is going from bad to worse. Heck of a fight between Keynes, Matthews, Class, Butcher, and then Langley with Stordog, I believe. Or has Langley got back ahead of Butcher? That's why their names are the wrong way around. But Hooper here, 1.5 seconds, 18 minutes to go. It's coming.
I think Hooper has hit a little bit of a barrier, although it looks closer now. He hasn't been he gained really quickly for a while, and now he seems to have eased off a little bit, although I say that it looks closer now.
225, that's Langley now with a drive-through penalty. Track limits or an issue around here. That's great, Langley to get himself a drive-through penalty as well. Carlos has got Diaz on the back of him, although I imagine that's Carlos trying to get past Ben, who's still only 25th in this race. We have lost another driver from this race. I'm just going to scroll down and see who we've lost. Believe we've lost. Is Castro still on there? To bump McGowan, I cannot see Castro. So Castro is the driver that we have lost. And Lojek.
Yeah.
So that is why we are 4 down.
Yeah, we're losing a few now, but still some great racing going on, and we have got a bit of a gap now, and you know, the gap's forming, and just people just staying in a groove and trying to keep their heads down, which is good because we can breathe a little bit.
Gareth Anderson's right. Cairns did start from the pits after not hitting drive. He's up to 19th, so a good recovery. This is O'Reilly being put under pressure from the Ford Mustang of Eresh in this race at the moment. So all looking good out there so far. And what an interesting night this is going to be on this one at the moment. It's been a cracking race so far. This has really been a brilliant race in this one at the moment. It's been fantastic to see. Castro's game has crashed, says Gareth Anderson in the chat, so that is why we've lost Castro. So that's a shame to have lost him from there, but that will not be a retirement though for retiring from the race. That will not be a qualifying ban, should I say, because of technical errors that we live in. Hoopert's now down to 6/10. In fact, that looks even closer than 6/10, and Hoopert last lap took a second out of Dan because it was a 33.8 for Dan, a 32.8 for Hoopert.
Absolutely, I've just looked up. I'm on board with Hooper, and I've just looked up after coming off my phone from Google, searching Super Touring cars to think of any that I'd forgotten. And I look up and I see the Lexus right in my face as Hooper has come right up on the back of Dan now. So this is the race for the lead, and this is not, I mean, I expected Dan to be up there, there or thereabouts, but this is not the race for the lead that I was expecting at the beginning of the evening. No,
it wasn't for me either. This is an interesting one to see what's going to happen throughout this evening. It's been a cracking battle at the moment, and it's now 0.3 of a second out front. Sylph can't sit pretty because he's got, in fact he's not no more, because O'Reilly's just dropped out that second. O'Reilly's got Eresh to worry about. Vitas has got Comot to worry about. Bolton's got Matt Wright to worry about. Ramsell's got Harris and Hibbs to worry about. Cloudon's now dropped down to 20th, and Williams has dropped down to 23rd, so not sure what's happened to them two there in this one. Butcher's trying to get on the back of Class. Rook trying to get past Langley as he's come out his drive-through penalty ahead of them, and then he's got Carlos and Diaz with him as well. But it is that battle for the lead that is 1/10 of a second between Dan Davis and Hooper with 14 minutes to go. The problem is, and this is the big problem around here, it's that hard to overtake that it's going to be a difficult one to get done.
Absolutely, that Hooper is so close. I'm actually beginning to quite like that Lexus to look at. You know, it's quite pretty. Certainly from the back, I think it's prettier from the back than it is the front. I think it's a bit ugly at the front, but the back is looking really quite cool. As I'm getting used to the back of it, as is Hoopert. Dan, I don't know. What is that corner before the hairpin? Out on the GP loop. Do we know what that long left is called?
The hairpin?
No, not the hairpin. The long left before
the little
it.
Kink. I don't think it has a name. But saying that, I didn't think the little left-hand kink at Donington Park had a name until they said it at the British GT the other weekend.
Absolutely, and that was a shock to all of us because all of us thought we knew it perfectly.
That is just Island Bend.
Island Bend. Well, Island Bend, Matt. Are you touching the brakes as you go through there on a normal race?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you touching the brakes?
Yeah, just a little dab or maybe a big lift.
Yeah, I'm more of a big lift than a dab on the brakes if I can help it. But I'm just thinking, Dan, this time didn't touch the brakes. Last time round, touched the brakes into there.
Yeah, that may be his tyres though, Kelly, on that part.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You've got to think that corner is the only real fast corner on this circuit. The others are all medium to low speed corners. That's the only real quick one around this track, isn't it? Let's be brutally honest. So if Dan didn't take tyres, may just be feeling a bit of sliding.
That's exactly what I was trying to work out, to be fair. Would Dan normally have a touch of the brakes through that corner?
And this is why we're so good in the box, Kelly, because we just think alike.
Well, we're just so good because we know what we're talking about.
100%.
You know?
And if we don't know it, if Jamie Brazier ever pops up in the chat, he probably will.
Yeah, well, if we don't know, it's not worth knowing. You know, if there's a fact we don't know, then erase it from your memory because it ain't worth knowing.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Eresh has got past O'Reilly, by the way, so he's up into P5 now.
Why are we not signed to do the touring car or Formula One or
Could
something
you imagine
like that?
how fun the touring car would be?
Oh, great. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Welcome to the
Be
BTC
fantastic.
with Sweet and Sticky in your box. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. With your being unbiased commentator towards
You can
Tom
talk.
Ingram.
Hey.
I know. And me being an unbiased commentator as far as it comes to Ash Sutton, we'd have a lovely little ding-dong just between ourselves.
Matt Wright's having a look on the inside. The little King Cup towards Druids. Doesn't get it done there, though. Drive through for Rozalski.
48.
So it'll only cost him 14 seconds, but the grid is... he's all right, to be fair. Where is Rozalski? 48. He's got a good gap, actually, so he might not even drop back down to this battle for 11th and 12th.
Yeah, Hooper is, again, so close to the back and down. I thought he was going to try and send it into Cascades, but he thought better of it. Hooper driving a very mature race here. Both races, to be honest. Doing really, really well. As he's just for a minute just didn't get the same traction as Dan out of the chicane, out of the earlier chicane. I must brush up on these corner names. I thought I knew Orton Park very well, but not as well as I thought. This corner they come down to now, this Druids one, this double right, which is a tricky corner, Matt. Am I right in saying? For everybody, even Dan moans about this one because it's a double right. You double apex it. It's very easy to run out on the out onto the grass on the outside. Is absolutely electric to watch the cars through there. Absolutely electric. Watching the touring cars through there and negotiate that. I mean, it's a lot bigger between apexes than you ever think it is. Standing on the inside of that corner. You think they come just really one after another, but there is really quite a gap when you're doing 100 and something miles an hour through there.
Yeah, indeed. Look who's come to play as well. Mizzin's on the back of Hooper, who has another look at that. Dan has definitely not taken tyres in this race, so he's tried to think strategy and track position. And 10 minutes left. He's got to. It's so easy to defend around here, Kelly, but he's got to defend it. Hooper goes very high.
Inside.
Hooper's gone very high to avoid the back of Dan. That allowed Mizzin to have a look. Couldn't get the job done. Dan is struggling on these tyres, I feel, compared to Hooper to Mizzin. And track position is key around these kind of circuits, and Dan is doing just that. Hooper, though, gets a great run out the corner. Lexus, though, can use its straight line speed down this hill.
Yeah. Absolutely, and Dan is exactly what he wanted. Is what Mizzin is doing now. He's giving Hooper a hard time. Hooper's got to look forward and backwards at the moment, because as soon as he opens up a gap, Mizzin is right in there, really quickly. So is Dan playing this as his strategy? Dan wouldn't be afraid to take this as a strategy. I'll defend at the end, to have track position.
Indeed, that is the case, and
it's a good scrap, though.
Yeah, at the moment, here comes Hooper, still on the back of Dan. Mizzin having a look as well, and Mizzin getting close, Hooper getting close. These are literally, they are pulling each other along. Dan is the lead of this train, and they are being pulled along by Dan Davis in this race. So what will Dan be able to do? Can he hang on for 9 more minutes? Because them tyres are just going to get worse. As Hooper has another slide through turn 1, holds on to it, though.
Brilliant. I'll tell you what, Silth could just about see this battle in front of him, so I wonder if he's is standing on the gas trying to bring himself back into play. If he can get if Silth can get himself close to this, who knows what could happen. 2 of these could go off quite easily, and you pick up another place and on the podium. But this is still anybody's race here, but Dan with the advantage. That being track position, of course, as we are into the last 8 minutes, and this is where you're defending for your life out in front, and you're just wishing the time to go so much quicker. Almost starting to play strategy on if you can time it, so you don't have to do as many laps. At the end, don't go over the line at the right time, but hard one to engineer.
Hard one to engineer indeed. Hooper's got to find an opening here, and he's almost got to get alongside Dan in a corner, just by a nose, just to open that door, and that's what he's got to try and do. Matt Wright's on the back of Bolton a little further down.
Hooper wide and went up, bounced over the curb. I thought he was going to lose the back end, but he collected it all up with no real harm done. But another Larry moment from Hooper.
Hibbs has got that of Cairns and a Court on the back of him. So Cairns doing solidly to start from the pit lane. He's P14 at the moment. De Court has lost out through the chicane massively there, though. Then it's Mike Matthews being put under pressure from Jamal Clouden, as Clouden has a look to the outside at the Hislop chicane. Harris is on his own, so I'm not sure what's happened to Harris. He's lost out massively to Rob Ramsell, who's got Brandon Williams with Langley, Carlos, Ben Rook down in 26. Not the night for Ben at all in this race.
No, one to forget. We have got the drop scores if it works out that way for him. Silth has taken, when I looked before, taken half a second out of this lot. He seems to have, no, he has. It's much closer. He is reeling these in, Matt. He's going to be in this by the end of the race if it goes on at this pace.
He is indeed, and it's an interesting night of racing here at Alton Park. Remember to join us live for all 3 races next week at the Nürburgring. Darren Cup for the BMW M2s with Dan Davis on commentary. Myself and Langley will be back for Pro-Am, and then Sweet and Sticky will be back in your box for
Supreme
Pro
team
next week for what should be a cracking Nürburgring race. The poll has just gone out now, and we'll see who can do what in this race at the moment. But Dan hangs on in there over Hooper. Hooper, fastest man on the circuit, and if we look at the recent laps, Hooper had a bad lap last time round, bouncing all over the curbs on the grass, but he's right back onto the rear of Dan, just showing how much that tyre advantage is helping him out.
Absolutely, yes indeed, but tyre advantage or not, you can't just push that Lexus out of the way. Track position, as we've been saying all night, is everything round Alton Park, absolutely everything. And we're not just talking sim racing here. Again, go back and watch touring car every year. Track position is the absolute key as Hooper gets right up on the grass. Minson's going to have a look into the island corner, but he's not close enough. Has a look down the inside before they get to the hairpin. Can't do it there.
No.
And he's very close. Where's Silth in all this? He's coming round the hairpin.
He's lost a bit of time.
Yeah, he hasn't really gained anything in the last lap or so, but yeah, I don't know if he had a scruffy lap or what. Hooper again, back end hanging out all over the place. He's still got that BMW Mackie style, and as Mezin's going to have a look down the inside into the chicane.
He's got past Silf in the background as well, so Eresh has got ahead and Mezin's gone through as well, so Mezin now can challenge Dan Davis. Eresh is now moved up into P4, so it's all changing here at the end. If you've commented if you've picked other, please let us know who you think gets driver of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were saying that Mustangs are rubbish. Now it's been 20% bopped or disadvantaged and bopped further. But Eresh and Hooper, Mezin, are both moving forward in the closing stages of this race.
The problem is, the more they've started to fight, the better that has helped Dan Davis out by moving over a second into this lead now. So that just helps Dan Davis out even more.
Absolutely.
Only a handful of laps for these guys to try and close him back down and make a move. But Dan, even if he's on older tyres, hasn't made a mistake at the moment, has he, in the lead of this race?
No, not at all, and he's relying on his experience and his experience in this Lexus as well to keep him in front. As Hooper has another little bit of a moment, Eresh isn't actually catching him very quickly. He's still got Silth for close company, so it's battle for the top 3. But it seems to have levelled out a little bit just as we go into closing stages of this race.
Yeah, indeed it does. What a night this has been at the moment here at Alton Park. Like we said, the Nürburgring next week. A little bit of rain around as well, it looks like, so showers could be the forecast, but we'll wait and see, because we've said that in the past and it's been absolutely crystal clear by the time we've come to it. Either way, there are still other fights happening on the circuit. We've got Bolton still defending from Matt Wright. We've got Cairns gaining on Hibbs a little bit more. We've got Mike Matthews still fending off class. Jamal Clouden it was, but he's dropped back now to 16th place with damage on the front end of his car. We've then got that of Williams fending off Carlos and Rook in this one. Rook now up to 23rd in this race. Everybody's done their pit stop. Mezin was the shadow behind, says Berserker in the chat. And Hooper's made a few mistakes here because he's dropped off the back of Mezin and he's closer now to Eresh.
Yes, he is. He's just had a bit of a scruffy lap, and I don't know if he's kind of mentally conceded defeat of that second or first place. All his tyres are starting to go off now after giving him such a beating. hard to know, but he is just making a few scruffy mistakes. And is Mezin going to have a last-minute attack on Dan?
Bolton's gone off coming up Clay Hill, and that's given Matt Wright the position there. Just made his own little mistake onto the grass, and Matt Wright moves through for P11.
Yes, indeed. So positions still being gained up and down the field as Mezin is now cruised up to the back of Dan, and Dan's got a new problem to think about. The new guy who's come in and had a fantastic week, his first week at Simplay. This guy, I think, is going to be a force to be reckoned with, Matt.
Get this one, the winner of this will be the most successful at Alton Park.
There you go.
After Mizin's dominance at Alton Park. Dr. David Lama says if the Lexus wins, I want the broadcasters to take back the Lexus has an ugly nose. I never said it had an ugly nose because it's got the Swiss flag on the front of it.
I didn't say it had I did say it had an ugly nose, and it doesn't matter if it wins; it's still ugly. It doesn't change the face of it at all, you know. Although it's not ugly from the back, it's pretty from the back.
It's no Honda,
you know. So yeah, exactly. It is no Honda, thankfully. And as Mizin has a cheeky kind of look up the inside into the last corner, but I think he's just trying to distract Dan. Good luck with that. And just pulling out to the inside just to do that distraction kind of thing. We're on the last lap.
We are on the last lap. Dan's got one lap to hold off. Look at the closing speed of Mizin through turn one. That is a Lamborghini off. I think that's Leger. It is Leger is off at turn one. But Mizin there is gaining like a madman in the corners. This is going to be interesting. If the Mustang didn't have its restrictor, I wonder if it would have gone past the Lexus by now in a straight line. But it does. It has been blocked by... maybe not, but we'll see. Dan defends that inside line again. I don't think Mizin's going to care about that. He's going to try around the outside, tuck back underneath to get the run out. Has a bit of a twitch. This is Dan defending for his life.
Absolutely, and I nearly broke my already worn out G29 pedals there, stamping on the brake to try and slow Mezin's car down. Absolute terrible bit of phantom braking from myself because he is so close. There's another look to the right, jinx out before the hairpin. He's just trying to distract down.
I've just noticed in the background that it's Aresh and Sylph who's behind for third and fourth now. So I don't know what has happened to I'm not a clue at the moment. I don't know where he is. Wait for the timing tower to update, but we've got two corners left to go.
He's behind Vitas, and I don't know what happened there. If he had a moment, just come to the end of his tyre life. Two corners to go. Mizin with a big slide.
Huge
snap. Big slide. Absolutely hangs on
Dan,
to that.
don't start flashing now. You remember what happened at Silverstone when you started flashing? You dropped the rear. Drive through for a third time for Overtaker. But Dan Davis, the flash isn't going to stop him tonight. He's going to win twice at Alton Park. Dan Davis back on the top step of the podium. Mizin P2 with Aresh in third. Sylph P4 from Kieran O'Reilly. Vitas going to come home for another strong sixth position. And could possibly get my vote for driver of the day, being a gold driver. Hoopert in seventh with fastest lap from Komar. Skunky P9 with Rosowski coming home to get into 10th place. There's a slow Leger coming up the hill. I don't know if he's out of fuel, but it looks like Rosowski's going to push him across the line to get to the end. So that's very nice of Rosowski to get him across that line for him to finish the race. There they both go. Matt Wright now comes to the final corner. But what a race it has been tonight, Kelly.
Absolutely, and wow. First race of the season never disappoints, and it hasn't this week. Some cracking racing tonight. So difficult on my driver of the day, I tell you. Absolutely difficult. I don't know yet who that's going to be, but some great racing.
I got two out last night, one for gold and one for platinum, seen as they're their own champion.
Can we do two? Can we?
Well, I'm giving a gold and a platinum driver of the day, I think.
Oh, wow, I didn't realise we could do that. I'm in for that.
Oh, there's absolute chaos in the final corner. We're changing to see who's coming through. Who's going to get 17th? I don't know. It's Williams. There is absolute carnage in the final corner. Williams gets it from Langley, from Carlos, from Rook, Diaz, Harris. There was Ramsell and Stardock. There was loads of cars off. I don't know what has happened there. But something has overtaken with a 30-second time penalty at the very end for not serving that drive-through penalty. I'm going to have to get a screenshot to put these results in. I don't know what happened there. That was absolute chaos. I forgot to save the race one. Replace for Let's Get Race 2 highlights, should I say. That, though, was carnage. I'm going to try and take a look. I think it was around Ramsell. There was at least 4 or 5 cars off in that one. That was chaos there. So we'll save that replay. And we'll jump in for interviews quickly, but shortly. But I want to take a look at this. This was carnage.
It just goes to show that we need to not be distracted and see everyone across the line, because some people are still racing just as hard for 34 or 35. Oh dear.
So let's go on board to Ramsel a second. We're just going to skip, if we can, if it will allow us, to the final lap of this race. We'll jump in for the interviews in just a moment or two's time. But that was absolute. Oh no, it can't. It's reset the server. So right, we'll go and jump into the interview room. We'll be back in just a moment.